Okay, I'll just give it a minute then, because I completely closed out my screen. It usually only takes a few seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, so last we left our, I'm still gonna be question mark heroes. Question mark heroes. You guys had just gotten to the cave along the east coast where you were tracking down a kobold group. And when you came upon the cave system, you saw the kobolds taking in a human prisoner, and they defended the opening. You guys launched an attack on them, and after a little bit of deliberating, um, you guys decided to bum rush the cave and try to save the people inside. You guys made your way through the chamber after fighting wave after wave of kobolds, and you came upon a chamber with a obelisk in the center and a voice that spoke out to you all. You guys were met by a sort of water and ice figure, kind of just basically made of it, almost like an elemental. And you guys were then it raised some undead corpses, which were a mishmash of humans and kobolds and various other decayed and rotting flesh. You guys, took care of the zombies pretty quickly. Then battled the elemental, and upon defeating it, you guys were told that it was going to keep attacking until you were dead. And after a little bit of investigation and some arcane checks on the obelisk, you guys decided to hit it and hit it with a cold spell, and it reacted to the cold spell, and the hammer that Cletus swung into it, not so much, and then Sin decided to grab for the gem and try to yank it out, and with all his strength, he pulled it out, and the whole party watched as the gem liquefied and kind of streamed up his arm and disappeared into his forearm elbow area. And afterwards, you guys, no, before I forget, you guys also did come across a female kobold protecting some young, very young children-like kobolds. A couple of you guys were kind of slashed at. You guys decided to disarm them and tie them up. They were still making a lot of noise, and Cletus kind of underestimated his own strength and injured one of the kobold children, almost killing it. But luckily, Daylock, you guys convinced him to heal it up. And there was a little bit of debate on what to do with the tied up kobolds, but you guys decided to just leave them there with a knife, and you guys made your way to the exit of the cave, and that's where you guys are.
So Corin's gonna... Okay guys, considering the kobolds, I've got a plan.
Okay.
First, I need Syncos to translate, and then I'll need Kalidas. You're gonna go to the place with the obelisk, and you're gonna find the most disgusting, horrible-looking kobold corpse you can find, okay?
Sounds good. I'm not sure I like this idea.
Yeah, Nat's sitting there just kind of shaking her head, and she looks to you, Corn, and goes, can we hear your plan first?
My plan is showing them what the Deep One did to their family, what it would have done to all of them if we didn't stop it.
Are you sure that's wise? Because they did see us kill, their other members who were not corrupted, as far as we know.
Daylock speaks up and says, "It seemed to me, I mean, it's from what Sin said when he heard them talking. It seemed like they knew what was going on."
Yeah, I'll use a little bit of creative word management. I'll lie a bit.
I mean, you sure you can try if you want. And Nat speaks up and says, I really don't think that's the best course of action. We do have these children here. I think we should get back as soon as possible.
I agree with Nat.
I agree as well.
Will take maybe 5 minutes or something.
Cletus says we should just go.
Okay, I guess I'm outnumbered.
Um,
Quick,
Damasaries actually leans or like reaches out towards you, Corn, and with a single finger he kind of like pats you on the shoulder and like gives you a smile and kind of like nudges towards the outside of the cave. Like, if you want to roll insight, you can.
Yep.
Hold on a second.
Microphone
Sketch!
muted.
Yay, so
Get over here,
Microphone activated.
little butthead.
20.
Damasaries, I mean, it's pretty clear. He's happy that you're listening to the group. You know, he does, you know, he does kind of seem like he enjoys the fact that you know, we're trying to come up with an idea to, you know, kind of convince the kobolds that, you know, what we did or what the group did was okay, but, you know, he understands that it might not be the best, and he's happy that you're, you know, listening to the group.
Okay.
so, quick thing. Conrad will look to Daylock, and I assume the children are with him.
Their children are currently being held by Damasaries.
Conrad will look to Daylock and ask him, do you mind checking the children to see if they are injured?
And he nods over to you and walks over to Damasaries, and they're kind of like, you know, like sitting in his massive arms, like one of his massive arms, and they're basically just sitting on it like a bench. And Daylock goes over and he kind of smiles to the children, and, you know, they're a little skittish, but now that they actually see the light at the entrance of this cave, they're a little warmed up. Daylock gives them a look over. He looks back to the group and he says, besides a few, you know, scrapes and bruises, they're perfectly okay. They seem to have not been here too long, and they seem to be in fine health.
That's good. So we should start planning our way back.
Damasaries says we should probably just go as direct of a route as we can.
I agree.
But a direct route would probably be through the forest. Do we want to risk running into bears again?
That is a risk.
Yeah,
Damas going up the coast.
Yeah, Damasaries looks at you and says, it might be, I mean, if we can take a real quick short rest, you know, I'll be able to manage through the forest, even if it's against two bears, but, I mean, it's up to the group.
The thing I'd worry about wouldn't be the bears, but the children. I don't think it's good for them to see more bloodshed right now.
Damasaries looks at the group and says, well, you know, if it comes to that, you know, I can shield them from it.
Okay.
And he kind of like reaches towards his backpack, and slaps it, and he's basically like, because he has like his little outlet cloak, and it's kind of hanging out of his bag, just kind of like tapping it, like, you know, I got this, I can cover them up.
Okay, so how about this? We go down to the base of the mountain. Just get off away from here for a second. We'll take a short rest, and then we'll proceed through the woods to La Teste.
Damasaries nods, and he looks towards Cletus and Conrad and says, if we are going to do that, I would suggest that most of us stay in a tight group. And Conrad and Cletus, you guys lead the group a little bit, so if there is any danger, you guys can call it out and we can shift, you know, in a direction to avoid as much as we can.
I agree with that.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Once we're in the forest, I'll try to hide myself a bit just so I can scout the surrounding area.
Okay. Damasaries nods, Nat nods. You guys start making your way south.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same exact path that you guys followed up here. You guys trek along. Eventually, the mountains start to die down, and you start seeing the forest to your left. You guys are able to see where the mountains really break and the forest begin, and you guys make your way into it.
Oh, hang on. We said we would take a short rest once we get off the mountain.
Okay. I mean, that's the point I'm getting to.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's right where the mountain stops and the trees start. Damasarius finds like a little nook, and looks to the group like, right here.
Sounds about good, yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
He sets the children down, and Nat actually goes right over to the children and starts talking with them. And for the first time, really, you guys actually see the children smile. She's, like playing with them, trying to cheer them up, asking them questions and stuff like that. Seems like she's pretty skilled when it comes to dealing with children.
Karon will cast Song of Rest.
Okay.
So any hit die rolled are increased by, I think, 5?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Everyone, you spend whatever you guys want.
And we increase our health by a surge value, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm up to full.
Yeah. I mean, most of you guys, some of you guys spent a few healing surges last session, but you guys should be good enough to heal all the way up to full. I gotta do some math for all these characters, so. Okay, you're good. Ooh. Daylock is going to pop one of his. No, he can't even do that. Huh. Yeah, Daylock, he just kind of continues to look a little messed up. He is tapped out for the day. And Sin is away from his computer, so I'm going to go ahead and spend his. Sure, he doesn't mind. Jesus Christ, I gotta change so many character stuff. 3, 2. Okay, so you guys are all rested up. Damasarius walks over to the kids and scoops them up again, and he basically has them resting on his left arm, and he's just holding them. And he looks towards the sky and says, well, we're going to have to really pick up the pace if we want to make it back to Latesse before it gets too dark.
I agree.
And he looks to... Go ahead.
Real quick, if we do get into combat, guys, we should assign someone to protect the children. Because Damasarius will probably be our... Even if he's better fighting than... You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, Daylock looks towards the group and seeing that he is the most injured. He's like, well, I can stay back with the children. And he looks over to Nat and, if you wouldn't mind helping me, I believe me and you could protect them. And since we can both attack from afar, we shouldn't hinder combat too much. And Nat nods, and so they're going to stick close to Damasarius in case something pops off, and Damasarius can charge ahead.
Sounds good.
And Sin is going to go ahead and pull up the rear.
I guess I would
Oh, wait,
be...
never mind, he's back. Sin can do whatever the hell Sin wants.
I'll pull up the rear.
Okay.
I guess I would be middle, if, Corin and Cletus are going up front.
Oh, no, Conrad and Cletus, sorry.
Okay.
Karon will jump into stealth.
Okay, go ahead and roll me stealth.
Actually, yeah, Connor will do that as well.
Okay. If you guys want to stealth moving forward, go ahead. Okay. With deft quickness and silent of foot, you guys start trekking ahead of the group. You know, you guys don't make too much of a noise. You guys have gone through this forest before. You guys know what to look for. You guys move ahead pretty quietly. After you guys get a good distance ahead, the rest of the group starts moving forward. I need Conrad and Cletus and Corn to go ahead and roll me perception.
Corn just looks at trees.
Yeah. Yeah, Corn's still pretty caught up in, you know, how amazing the forests and Elwillis look. Very healthy, very vibrant. Cletus is just focused on the mission of just charging forward and, you know, leading a charge line for this group to make sure that they don't run into anything. Conrad, you guys make your way into the forest for like a good hour or so. You're moving just a little ahead of the group, and at one point you hear flapping, just a very light flap, and it's getting closer and closer and
Connor
closer.
will motion for the others to get down.
Okay. You guys all see Conrad stop and like make some down gestures with his hands.
And he will also whisper, "I hear something."
Okay. Well, the distance you are, yeah, a whisper probably wouldn't make it to the group.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just motion them to get down then.
Okay. Demissaries drops down, Nat drops down, Daylock drops down. Okay. After a few moments, the rest of you guys hear it. You hear it flapping overhead. And you know, through the tree line, you really can't see anything. But you do notice the speed. It flies by you guys. Within just a second or two, you guys hear it flapping. You guys drop down. The flapping goes overhead, and it fades behind, going towards the coast.
So it's gone from our area at
Yeah,
this point.
it's gone.
Okay. I guess Connor would then kind of motion to advance.
Okay. The rest of the Demissaries and Nat and Daylock stand up and start continuing along. Daylock keeping a extra cautionary eye towards the sky after hearing that.
I think that might have been our big scary friend.
Corn's with me, yeah, so I can talk to him.
Yeah. I probably, more or less, he's probably sitting on your horn. Are you sitting on his horn?
Yeah.
Okay. That seems to be his go-to perch.
Yeah, Conrad would whisper to him, you know, still trying to remain stealthy, you know. It's possibly, yeah.
I mean, if you want to do a nature check.
Okay.
I mean, Conrad could have been a big bird. I mean, you're not quite sure. A lot of the animals you're used to dealing with in the woods tend to have a, you know, not be that loud or that sounding that big. Corn, you've never heard. You were alluding to a dragon, correct?
Yep.
You've never heard a large dragon's wings flap, but you've, in your past, you've dealt with odd creatures that have wings. Let's just leave it at that. And certain ones did grow to a larger size. You know, pretty comparable to, you know, like maybe an adult dragon size. This seemed smaller than that. If it was a dragon or a flying creature, you would probably put it, with how the wings were sounding, maybe a little bit closer towards like humanoid size. Maybe anywhere from like 5 to 12 feet, somewhere in that range. Not too big.
Something your size, probably. Don't know exactly what.
Something humanoid?
Not just
Sure.
about as big as you are.
Strange. Then Connor would continue walking forward, or, you know, stealth walking.
Okay.
Red walking.
And as you guys are continuing along, eventually you hear another flapping, but this one's light, and you hear Corin, Cletus, and Conrad. You hear a bleep noise real quick. It's just, and you swear out of the corner of your eye you see a flash of light. And as you guys go to look in the direction it came from, you see a large white owl, and it's flapping right towards Daylock. And Daylock sees it and extends his arm out, and the owl lands on it. He takes out a piece of paper that's attached to its little leg. He sits and reads it and bundles it up and reaches in one of his pouches and pulls out like a piece of cured meat and gives it to the owl. The owl, flaps, like gets on Daylock's shoulder and like munches on the piece of meat.
I ask him, what did it say? Whispering.
Oh, that was a letter from Raylon. He was just letting me know that they would be gone for an extended period of time, and they probably won't be back until 1 or 2 days.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Okay, you guys continue along, and after another hour, almost 2, you guys eventually make the break of the woods, and you guys are looking to your left, you have the mountain range. Barely visible ahead of you is the town of Lateste. It is getting towards the later afternoon part. Or actually, around I'd say it's around 2-3 o'clock ish. But you guys do see the verdant fields of Lateste and the little bay area to your right. But you pretty much see a clear shot from here to Lateste.
So we're about here, right?
Yeah, you guys are. You guys are pretty much about here.
Okay.
On the left end of the Dragon Link. And once the field opens, Daymasteries looks to Cletus and kind of motions you to come back towards the group as the rear group makes its way to the edge of the forest. And once the two groups are connected again, Daymasteries looks towards Cletus and goes, okay, we're going to have to pick up the pace from here on out, and we're probably going to have to split up holding the kids. And as soon as he says that, Nat raises her hand and pops up in between you two and is like, well, I can help carry too. And Daymasteries kind of looks at him and looks back at you, Cletus.
If you say you can do it, I have no reason to doubt you. But yeah, I can help carry him too.
Daymasteries smiles and looks at Nat, and Nat is just kind of grinning ear to ear. And Daymasteries and Nat agrees, and he hands over the kids to you, Cletus, and says, okay, we're gonna have to pick up the pace. And he looks towards Sin and he says, you think you can keep up?
I'll try my best.
Okay, because I'm not a.
Just let us know if you're getting too far behind. Slow down for you.
And Daymasteries looks at you and he's like, I'm not opposed to giving you a lift either. I wouldn't want to hurt your pride, but
I say, yeah, that would be amazing.
okay. He motions towards you to climb up on his shoulder.
I of course climb up on.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
Yes.
Okay. Thank God we took that short rest. I'm pretty sure this would have killed him. Okay, so you go and you start making your way. He's tall. Okay, he's 7'8". He's the tallest one in the group. You are what, 3'6", I believe?
3'4".
3'4". So when you reach up, you kind of have to jump up to grab his belt. And you go to put your legs on the back of his gigantic, like muscly calves to try to lift yourself up. But he's been carrying kids running through this forest, so he's a little sweaty, and you're, like you go to like use this grounding that you have to like climb up closer on his back, like using his, the strap that goes across his back and chest, and you go to reach for it, and your feet give out, and you just fall back. You take 1 point of fall damage, and Damus Ares looks back and says, "Do you need a hand?"
Yes.
Okay. He extends his hand out to you.
I grab for his hand.
Okay. Give me another athletics check.
Okay.
Okay. With his help, you are able to make your way up to his shoulder. And it's a pretty stable seat. And like just from his size difference, like you're able to sit on his shoulder pretty comfortably. Your legs are kind of dangling off this front. And you now understand what it feels to be like this tall, and honestly, like you kind of like grab his hair for a second because you're pretty high up there now. But after a few moments you get used to it, and he lets you know to like hold on to his pauldron. And he looks towards the group and says, "Okay, let's go."
Let's go, yeah.
I start tapping my heels on his armor.
Okay, like Yee horsey, kind of?
Yes.
Okay, so you pretty much have to like straddle his shoulder to do that, but yes, you could be able to do that. You're basically sitting like, you're straddling his shoulder, grabbing onto the edge of his pauldron like you would a rein, and you're just like kicking with his heels like, "Giddy up!" And he actually laughs about it. He doesn't seem too annoyed about it, and you guys pick up the pace.
Cohen shouts, "Lift bros!"
Yeah. You guys start making your way. I'm gonna need Cletus and Damus Ares to do an endurance check. Okay. You guys are good for now. You guys continue running. The weight hasn't really gotten to you guys yet. You guys make your way like a couple more miles. Give me another endurance check. Okay, after a while, he looks towards the group, and he's panting a little bit. And he's like, "Okay, I gotta drop it real quick." And he kind of like sets you down, Sin. And Nat looks over towards you, Sin, and she's like, "Piggyback?"
I'm good, I'll walk.
Okay. With Sin walking, it does slow down the group a little bit. But you guys keep making your way. Cletus, I need you to roll me one more endurance check. Okay. At this point, the sun has already set. You guys have been running across these fields for quite a bit now. It is starting to get late in the evening. I need the whole party to roll me one endurance check.
Even Corin? He's not even walking.
Not you, Corn.
Okay.
Oh, completely forgot about Nat and Daylock. I'm like sitting here like, where are their rolls at? I was going to start yelling at Moose.
Damn it, Moose.
Damn it, Moose. Oh, where's the other? There it goes.
Typical dialogue.
Okay. Yeah, he does slow down a little bit, and honestly, with how good some of those rolls were, I would say that you guys see Daylock kind of pulling back a little bit, panting and breathing pretty heavily. Between Nat and Damus Ares, who's no longer carrying someone, they are able to assist him and to help keep the pace, and you guys eventually make it to the gates of Leteste. You guys approach. There are some guards sitting to the left and right of the gate, perched up on the wall. They have torches, and they kind of hold the torches out as you guys approach, and you see one of them like raise his hand, and he says, "Halt! Who goes there?"
So
We're-
I guess. Go ahead.
We're adventurers who have been tasked help here. We just went out to investigate the missing fishermen and coming back from our adventure.
He kind of looks at the group, and you guys are a pretty ragtag and weird group. And he says, "Oh, okay. Just stay right there, and I'll confirm it." And Daylock raises his hand and says, "Hold," and he's panting pretty bad. And he walks over and holds up his holy symbol towards the gate, and he says, "I'm with the Platinum Band." And he the guard kind of squints at it, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, just one second." And he kind of humbles down. Sounds like a ladder. He's kind of talking to someone, "Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up!" And they get the gate open. And you guys see there's a few guards standing there, pushing open the gate. And Daylock puts his symbol back, and the guard there says, "Oh, we didn't know it was you." And Daylock puts his hand up, and he says, "It's quite all right." And you guys make your way into the gate. At this point, the town is pretty much shut down. It's a good 11, 12 o'clock at night. The only lights you really see are coming from the manor, the squawking box, and the guard station that is to the left of you guys.
Out of character comment. We were supposed to go to Lord Raybon.
No. Guard Captain Welton.
Yeah,
at the guard station.
Go to the guard station then.
Okay. You guys make your way there. There's two guards just up front, and they kind of eye you guys over. And you guys recognize these two guards. They were part of the group that escorted you guys on the way in the first day that you were here. And recognizing you guys, the one holds up his hand, and he's like, "Are you here to see Captain Wilton?"
Yes, we are.
Okay, just give us 1 second. And he looks over the other one and he nods. And that guy, the guy he nodded to, goes inside, says, "1 second, we just got to make sure that he's still in for the evening." And after a few minutes, the other guard comes down, and he opens up the door, and he gestures to you guys to enter, and he's like, "Captain Wilton, we'll see you now."
We are curious.
Okay. You guys make your way in. It's a pretty standard building. It's built sturdy, not too fancy. A lot of the tables and stuff that you guys see in here are very sturdy. As soon as you guys enter...
User in your channel timed out.
Okay, let's give that a second.
He's resetting his modem.
Oh, okay. The bathroom break? Yeah, we'll do a quick bathroom break.
Okay.
Because that's probably only going to take 5 or so minutes, and I don't know if he wants to participate in this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugh. Oh,
I'm back.
shit. I accidentally exited the game.
User joined your channel. Channel switched. User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel.
I have the power. You good, Sin?
Yes.
Okay, once everyone's back, everyone good?
I'm good.
And we do need to backtrack something real quick because I completely forgot to say a detail.
Okay.
It won't affect the story. It's just one single detail that you guys would have noticed when you guys were entering the gate.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's
by the
all of a
way,
sudden undead.
Yeah.
out of character, I believe Cletus is the one who has that proof of the fisherman, right?
What was that?
I believe Cletus has the proof of the fisherman, right?
I believe so. I mean, you guys also have the children.
Yeah.
I'm back.
we also had to have something proof that we found him as well. So.
Well, I mean, it was just proof of the fisherman. Technically, with the kids there, that's proof right there. They can collaborate your story.
Okay.
Okay, his face back.
Yep. Looks like it.
Is he? He's not saying
face?
anything.
Yeah, wait till he says something.
Yeah. You always gotta wonder when the last persons you guys are waiting for to come back, you're like, well, they probably had to poop.
Nope, never wondered that. I figured they might have went and got tacos.
I mean, tacos, pooping, aren't they the same thing?
No, one leads to the other.
We'll leave it up to the audience to figure out which one leads to which. Man, I love my shitty hand-drawn map. It's so great.
Do what you can.
Yep. And next payday, I will be getting a commission of the Squawking Box Tavern sign.
Cool.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yay.
One detail that I forgot to mention as you guys were entering town, it's just a quick backup. It's not going to affect the story. As you guys were entering in the town, like as you approached Lateste, when you guys left the first day towards this mission, and you guys saw those caravans arriving and seemingly setting up stuff right outside of town. As you guys approached, there are a lot of tents set up. There's a couple campfires going. A few people are out there, and it appears like they do have, like an arrangement of tents like set up out there. There seems to be a little bit more life there than when you guys left. That was all. But you guys make your way into the guards' shack, the guards' room, and when you guys enter, there's a large, sturdy table, like 10-15 feet after entering, with a guard sitting right behind it. Looks half asleep. He's going over, he has a giant book open, and he's scribbling stuff down, and he looks as you guys enter. Gives a nod to the one guard. The guard nods back, and you guys are escorted up a flight of stairs to the second floor. And as soon as you guys get there, it's just a little landing way with 3 doors. The guard leads you to the centermost door and opens it, and just leans in a little bit and says, "They're here, sir." And he steps back and gestures you guys to enter the room.
We enter.
Okay. You guys make your way in, and you guys see the familiar Captain Walton there. Does anyone... I mean, he's shared, so if you guys want to know what he looks like, he's in your journal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show the audience real quick. Of course it's not going to show because it's a separate window. I don't know how to change it to make it not a separate window. I guess this is just gonna have to do. Boop. Okay. Show that to them real quick. And delete it. He's standing there looking really tired, just going through some paperwork. But as soon as he sees you guys, he looks over towards Damoceri, or Cletus, who's currently holding the kids, and you see a smile on his face. Seems like a pretty genuine smile, and he actually stands up and extends his hand out to greet you guys.
Shake his hand.
Okay. He goes through and shakes everyone's hand. And he looks towards the kids, and he looks back towards the group, and he says, "I suppose you guys had some luck?"
Yes. Sadly, we were unable to save the fishermen, though.
And he points to the children, and he's like, "Well, did you find them with them?"
Yes.
And like he looks towards the kids and kind of gestures Cletus to put them down.
I gently set them down on the floor.
And
there's a bench. Set them on a bench.
Yeah. You set him down, and he like parts the hair out of the children's way, or the hair out of their face, and he looks to him and he's like, "Oh, I know you. You're the daughter of Parrish, right?" And she nods, and she's like, "Yes, that's my father." And he looks towards the young boy as well, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna get you back to your mother right away." And he looks out towards the door, and he yells out a name. As soon as I can pull it up, I should probably have this open. Rivel, can you come in here? And a guard comes into the room, and he says, "Could you please escort these two children home to their parents?" And he stops right there, to their mother. And the guard nods, and he says, "Follow me, children." And the children follow him. And he's like, Captain Welton's kind of sitting there after the kids leave. He gestures who's ever closest to the door to close it. I'll say whoever that is closes it, and he says, "Nasty business losing your parents to something like this, and to be involved so closely. Why don't you tell me what happened?"
So I guess, is there like seats nearby?
There's a few chairs here and there. There's two chairs right in front of his desk. He's kind of sitting on his desk, like towards closest to you guys. So,
yeah. Well, in that case, kind of will just stand. Say, so we follow the lead in regards to the kobolds who normally interact with the fishermen alongside the coastline.
Oh, I know of them. We've heard about them a few times. We've never really had any issues. So.
Yeah, so
that kind of changed.
Yeah, that really dramatically changed.
Oh, how so?
Well, when we encountered the kobolds, we saw them basically dragging a person that they looked like they were keeping as prisoner into their cave network.
So it was them who was responsible for this incident?
That, and it looks like in regards, there was some sort of elemental of some kind.
Elemental?
Yeah. It's like...
We have no knowledge of something like that existing.
It was some creature that was born out of a gem that was stuck in an obelisk in the center of the cave.
Yeah, and as soon as you say that, he stands up from the desk, goes behind, sits on his chair, flips open a book, and he picks up a quill, dabs it with ink, and he starts writing down what you're saying. Go on.
Yeah, so we went into the cave. They were hostile, and we continued to defend ourselves. And along the way, we found this stone obelisk that had a gem in it. It spoke to us, and it brought up some sort of zombie kobold hybrids, which we quickly dispatched. But then a monster that appeared out of water and ice attacked us. We managed to subdue it, but it warned that it would keep on coming back. Until our friend Sin over here, he points to Sin, managed to remove the gem from the obelisk.
Very strange. From our knowledge of the kobolds in that area, there's no information that speaks of them practicing necromancy. I will pass this information along to Lord Ravon and one of our local magistrates who is practiced in the arcane arts, and maybe they'll be able to, find some more information. But obelisk, you say?
That's what it appeared, yes.
And he stands up from his desk and goes to the bookshelf, pulls a really big book off, and he starts flipping through it and gets to the page, and he says, the last encounter we've had with the kobolds, there's no mention in their society of an obelisk or anything matching that description.
It seems.
I doubt you'll be hearing from the kobolds anytime soon, as we pretty much wiped them out on our way into the cave.
He kind of shakes his head. He's like, that's a shame. I mean, we try to foster as much peace with any group we can. But I will send some investigators to the area to find out some information. And he walks over to another table and he pulls out it's a localized map of Latest in the outer area. And he says, could you point about where you guys discovered their cave?
Conrad will do so.
Okay.
So, we didn't completely wipe them out. There's still mother and their 2 children left.
Are they still in the cave?
Yes.
They should be.
Okay, well,
They might have relocated.
and he goes back to his desk and writes that down. I will definitely, we will send the magistrate and some guards up there. I will let them know that there could still be hostiles present.
They're not hostile. They seem to be just women and children.
Well, I mean, he looks towards the group. He says, it's a shame because we actually don't know all of what the kobolds have in the northern areas. And you said you discovered just one cave, correct?
Correct.
The cave, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not sure of their exact numbers. We did know that they did have a cave that some early people in this town's history did interact with and actually go to. I'm not sure if it's the same cave, but we're not 100% sure of their numbers or their dwellings.
Also, the ones investigating the obelisk might want to have a look at Simcoe's.
And he raises his eyebrow and he's like, why should we do that?
After he pulled the gem out.
Yeah, we accidentally dropped it. I interrupt and I say we accidentally dropped it.
Okay, roll me bluff, Sin. And is anyone going to correct him after he says that?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a bluff. Okay, Corin, go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
Well, it kinda did something to him. It might have lingering effects, so he's the one who touched it.
Okay, Corin, go ahead and roll me diplomacy. Ooh, okay. He looks towards both of you guys and he says, well, and the rest of the group, he says, well, which one is it? Did you guys drop it? Or, like, what lingering effects are you talking about? He seems
We're not sure.
He seems to be confused by you guys having two different descriptions.
We're not sure exactly. We just like someone could check them out.
Yeah,
Just
make sure our
make sure.
buddy's alright.
Well, that could be arranged. If you would like, there is a temple to Bahamut in this town. If you guys wanted to look there, and he looks towards Daylock and he says, but I mean, he should be just as proficient as anyone at the temple. And Daylock nods his head and he says, I would be able to give him a one-over, but I am pretty spent today. If it could wait till the morning. And Captain Welton looks towards the group and looks towards Sin. He says, you know, he doesn't seem to be having too many issues. If you guys wanted to wait till the morning, it is pretty late. I don't know who would be active at the temple at this hour. But if you guys do wait, you do have options. And he looks towards Daylock again, and Daylock nods back.
I assume we're gonna settle the account of payment and the proof for the dead hostiles tomorrow morning. Because it is late.
He actually looks to you and he says, "I would actually like to take care of that now, if you'd be so kind. Tomorrow, most things are going to be closed up, including us. We will have, just a standard limited guard tomorrow and the day after in preparation for the festival."
Okay. And Conrad will get out his bag of holding.
I say, hold on, we want to go outside, not in here, to show him. Or somewhere where we could, in private, that's not inside.
What, show him the heads?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are in his office.
Yeah, the kids aren't here anymore.
Okay, I just didn't want to pour heads out into his office.
No,
I told him it was proof of death.
Yeah, he does not mind. He actually shows you to a counter that he has in his room, and when you guys move over to this table, there actually seems to be a little bit of gunk on it. I mean, it's pretty easy to tell. Like, this is something that is pretty standard in Latest. Not just from, the adventures that he just, Latest just hired through Celestia, but they probably have a long history of dealing with monsters and stuff like that. So, bringing back heads for work is probably a pretty common occurrence, and he just does not seem to care about his table. It is a nice table. It's just, it does seem to be very kind of dirty. There's deep stains of red blood and gore on the desks that are dried up at this point, but you can tell this table's seen some, mess.
Okay.
So Conrad will pull out the heads from his bag of holding.
Okay.
Just put them on the table.
And he starts counting them all up. Kind of looking at them. And he goes over to, and he writes it down on a piece of parchment, goes over towards his desk, and he stands over by this book that's just kind of sitting there. It's the only book. It has like its own single platform on his desk. It's very finely bound, very nice stained leather with gold inlays on the binding, and he says "Fisherman" to the book, and you see the book rise up a couple inches, and it opens itself and starts flipping to the page, and it's a blank page, and right before your guys' eyes you see basically a copy of the notice that you saw on the board. And he goes over with the parchment that he wrote down, and he starts writing down everything. He starts reading in the book the details of the quest. And he looks towards the group and he says, "Okay, by my count, that is 28 heads at 10 gold a head, so that's going to be 280 gold. I would say, as far as the request, you were able to find the missing fisherman. So that is 200 gold. I verify that you guys have investigated the problem. We will perform our own personal investigation for the town of Latest. But by your guys' explanation, I would say that you have served your duty on that. And with this obelisk that the obelisk and the gem that you guys seem to have run into, and basically eliminating the clutch, I would say that you guys have stopped the problem. So in total, that will be 800 gold for the initial quest and 280 gold for the heads. And he goes over to a little safe, and he waves his hand over it, and you guys see it chink, 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 and a little wheel on it spins, and the chest opens, and he reaches inside, pulls out some gold in a sack, and see him counting gold over into a sack. He cinches it up, closes his little safe, walks over to his desk, and he sets the pouch right on the edge of his desk.
Okay, I guess Conrad will take it and divide it amongst us.
Okay. In total, that is, God damn it, why did I not?
1,080, right?
Yeah, 1,080.
Okay. And how many of us are there? Just.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you guys plus Daylock, and again, Daylock refuses to take any money.
So 5 of us total.
6 of you.
Daylock. Okay, 6. Okay. And Daylock's not for accepting payment.
Yeah, so he's not going to accept it.
180 each.
Ooh.
Yep.
What was it again? Sorry, I kind of didn't
180.
listen. 180. Okay, I gotta add that to everyone. Thank God I only gotta update 2 different character sheets this time.
You want us to add it to our...
Yes, go ahead and add it to your personal one. I mean, your guys' gold has already been updated from what you guys looted.
You just see Corin playing with the coins and stuff, just amazed of how much money this is. Probably never saw this much in his life before.
Nat
Conrad kind of looks impressed as well.
Yeah, Nat looks pretty impressed by it as well. Like, her eyes are kind of wide. Like, you know, she adds that amount to her coin purse, and she kind of looks at her coin purse and jingles it a little bit, and she's kind of smiling ear to ear. Damasaries looks pretty happy about it as well, and he's looks towards you guys, and you know, he starts filling out more paperwork, and he looks towards the group and he says, "Okay, what should I put for your guys' group name for completing this quest?"
Group A.
Group A? And he kind of inquisitively looks towards the group and he says, No, he kind of chuckles. He's like, "No, I'm not asking what group you were assigned to, Latesse. I'm saying, what are you guys called?"
Oh, Conrad just kind of pauses, like, inquisitively. Like,
Yeah, Nat looks like, kind of like looking back and forth at the group, like, Damasaries. What was that?
Conrad's Conquerors.
Conrad will chuckle like that, like.
Yeah, Damasaries is gonna laugh and shake his head, and he's gonna be like, "No."
Can we get back to you on that?
And you know, he looks towards the group and he says, "Okay, and he looks towards the group and he says, I'm just gonna write a note of that. How about that? And when you guys think of something, I'll go ahead and update our records."
That
Sounds
works
good.
for us, yeah.
Okay, he smiles. He says, "Well, I thank you," and he stands up and he holds his hand out to shake each of you guys' hands.
Does so.
Okay, and he
Big
says,
sand.
I thank you so far for your work. I know that we suffered losses with the first group that was supposed to arrive in Latesse, but I'm glad that you guys have arrived and were able to deal with the problem so quickly and efficiently for us. Again, you guys are still going to be staying at the Squawking Box in town?
Yes.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. If I have any other issues or anything, I will bring it to you guys' attention. For now, enjoy the evening. It's late, and I will see you guys around.
Thank you.
Okay.
And he shakes
Leave
you.
his houses.
Yeah, he finishes shaking everyone's hands, and you guys make your way back out.
I guess as we're walking over to the, Squeaking Toad, Conrad will be like,
Squeaking
I
Toad?
could use a drink.
Squawking
Sorry.
Box.
Squawking Box.
Okay.
Conrad will just say he wants a drink.
Okay. As you guys approach, it's probably the first time you guys noticed it, but as you approach the tavern, you do notice the sign for the tavern. And on the sign, it is a simple wood sign with a burned etching in it. And on the sign, you see right at the top it says Squawking, and at the bottom it says Box. And in the center, you see a silhouette of a very feminine figure, sitting with her legs kind of spread open, and right in her groin area, you see a treasure chest with teeth and a tongue hanging out of it.
Not sure what message they're going for with that.
If you guys want to roll, knowledge arcana.
Yeah, kind of. For knowing what a mimic is.
Yeah. Okay, for Corin, Sin, and Cletus, you have, well, everyone besides Corin, you've heard of mimics, and from the tales you know, it's basically a creature that can mimic some item, and they basically trick people into trusting the item and then using that trust to seize upon their prey. Corin, you've actually run into a mimic before in your past, and you remember it to be a talkative son of a bitch, kind of annoying. And so you get the concept of the squawking box. It's kind of a double entendre. It's talking about the woman's squawking box and the fact that there's a mimic on it. Okay, you guys.
Yeah, I guess we enter.
Okay, you guys make your way inside. It's not nearly as lively as the first night when you arrived here. It is pretty late in the day after, counting the gold and stuff like that. It is pretty late. As you enter, you see the middle-aged man that was first working the bar when you guys entered. And you do see a familiar orc that's kind of leaned up against the wall, that was pretty much standing in the same exact spot the last time you saw him. And a couple dwarves here and there, one or two humans, and they're kind of like, it's a low rumble in here of speaking, and mostly people are whispering, and a couple of them are passed out. And the man looks towards you guys as you enter.
Quick question, is Trevor in?
You do not see Trevor.
Damn it.
Yeah. So I guess I would head to the bar. Conrad.
Okay.
Yep. I tell everyone I'll buy a drink for them.
Awesome, Conrad would say.
Okay. I gotta correct this real quick. Now ignore the people that are there. It's just one orc and a couple dwarves. Okay, and Nat agrees to the drinks. She's gonna go over, and Damasares as well, and Daylock's gonna go and sit at the bar as well. And the same middle-aged man that you guys saw, he nods towards you all. He says, "Welcome. How can I help you?"
Take one of whatever these guys want and a milk for me.
I'll take an ale.
Okay. He nods, and he goes and starts gathering mugs and stuff like that, and pours 5 tankards of ale and 1 tankard.
Corin will actually ask, do you have any fruit juice?
And he looks towards you and he says, that we do.
Then I'll take some fruit juice.
Okay. We actually have a simple berry blend that our Lady Catmara likes to enjoy.
Nice.
And he goes and dumps out, or he actually hands the pitcher that he filled up for you, Corin, and you notions over to the orc sitting on the wall. He says, "Here you go." And a large orc uncrosses his arms and walks towards the bar, picking up the tankard and just downs it. And he fills up the last one with juice and walks over to the group and starts dishing them out. He looks towards the group and he says, that will be 2 silver per an ale, and 1 silver for the milk and the juice.
So 12. Right?
Yeah, in total that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 ales, and so it's going to be 12. 12 silver.
I hand him the money. I tell him I'm also going to want a room for the night.
Okay, he nods and he says, that's going to be 5 silver pieces a night.
And I hand that over.
Conrad will also speak up. I need room as well.
Okay. And Nat also speaks up, and she says that she will actually get a room for the month. And she slides over her coins. It's a few gold pieces. And he picks it up, and hold on a second. I'm going to get the floor assignment again. I should have had this already ready to go.
Corin also throws in 50 silver. 5 silver. Whatever.
5 silver?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get a room for 2 weeks.
Okay. Let me just... Sorry about this. Just gotta set this up real quick. Okay, so first room is gonna be Cletus. You're the last room on the left.
Okay.
Second room is going to be Nat. She's going to be on the last room on the right. Second to last room is going to be Sin.
On left or right?
Second to the left, or second to the last on the left.
Okay.
Second to the last on the right is going to be Conrad. And third last to left is going to be Corin. And Damus Aries is going to go there. Okay. So you guys pay for your rooms. Go ahead and mark off. If you guys are going one night, it's going to be 5 silver. Nat already has her gold marked off for her room. And Sid, how many days did you want it again?
It would be 14 days since 2 weeks.
Okay, so 2 weeks. So that's going to be... Why can't I think right now? That's going to be 70 silver.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and mark that off.
I marked mine off already.
Okay. And you guys have your rooms available.
And so Connor will just kind of be sipping his drink, and then he'll actually kind of motion for the bartender to come over.
Okay, he comes over.
So I understand the third floor has certain amenities, right?
He says, there we have many entertaining men and women who can woo and, entertain you for the evening. All prices are negotiated by them. I can tell you their specialties, and that might be able to help you get pointed in the right direction. But again, it's up to our workers to choose their customers.
Of course, yeah, of course. I was just wondering, do you have like a scale of range? Would you guess?
Of course. I would say, and then, he kind of rubs his chin for a second. Wrong NPC room. He says prices range anywhere from, I would say the lowest you'd probably be able to get would be about 20-30 gold, and the most expensive, and he kind of rolls his eyes and he says, would be about 5,000 gold.
Okay. And Connor will say, is there any other policies I should know about?
Just follow the guide or any rules and guidelines set out by the workers, and we shouldn't have a problem.
Okay, thank you so much. Then he'll go back to his drinking.
Okay. And Nat actually leans over to you, Conrad, and she's like, so are you thinking about going to the 3rd floor?
Yeah, aren't you?
She's like, I will if you will.
Sure, sounds good to me.
And she kind of chuckles and like starts sipping on her drink. Daylock actually finishes his drink. He only gets about halfway through it, and he says, I'm sorry, I do need to rest. I do need to spend some time praying to the Platinum God and get some rest. Today was a very rough experience. And he actually looks towards the group and he does like a slight bow. He says, I thank you for looking, and I will see you guys in the future.
I tell him good night.
And he nods and heads upstairs.
Connor didn't even look at him. Like, he just ignored his response.
Okay. And after a few moments, Damasaries, pounds his drink and looks over at the bartender and he's like, one for the road. And, he nods, fills up his tankard of ale, and Damasaries looks towards the group and nods and says, okay, I'm going to hit the hay.
Good night.
See you, Damasaries.
I asked the bartender if I could get something to eat.
Okay, he nods and goes back. After a few moments, he brings out a plate of, it's basically like a thick mutton, big fresh potatoes, carrots, and stuff like that. It's pretty hearty smelling. Scent of the onions and the garlic and the herbs really hits your nose, and it's just warm feeling and smelling. It's pretty good. That's gonna set you back 2 silver.
Okay, I'm also gonna fill up my milk again too.
Okay. That's gonna be another 1 silver for the milk.
I got it. Thank you. And I start eating.
And it is good. It's a delicious hearty meal.
Connor would also want like a meal as well.
Okay. Same thing. And it's gonna be a 2 silver piece. And he brings out you another plate, the same as Cletus's.
And he starts to eat.
And it is just as delicious.
Sinkos will also get a meal.
Okay, mark off your 2 silver. Bartender goes back, grabs you a plate as well.
Same for Corin.
Okay, go ahead and mark it off. Same deal.
And I use prestidigitation to make the mutton taste like fish for me.
Okay, and it does taste like fish for you. You guys watch as, well, real quick, you guys watch as Sin gets his plate, and he puts his hands on both sides of the plate, and he closes his eyes, and you hear him start muttering some words that are unfamiliar to you, and he's chanting, and his eyes flash real quick, and you don't see any change, but then he starts digging into his food and thoroughly enjoying it. And honestly, for the rest of you guys, you almost seem to smell fish in the air.
I rolled arcane.
Okay. You've seen arcane casters perform what are referred to as small miracles. A lot of people refer to them as making things appear that aren't there, things like that. And you do know that it's referred to as prestidigitation. And you assume that's probably what he did to his food.
I say to send carbo loaded, getting ready.
Wait, what?
I was telling you, yeah, carbo loading, getting ready for the 3rd floor.
Nah, I'm gonna head to bed after this.
Alright.
Okay, you guys finish your meals. They are delectable.
At this point, is Conrad done with his drink?
Yeah.
right, Conrad. Well, kind of motions for Madeline. Well, I'm ready to go to the third floor. I want to know about you.
And she got a meal as well. She looks to you, like, kind of wipes the food off the rest of her mouth, and she's like, "I'm ready when you are." And like, she kind of sits up from her chair and starts heading up to the third floor.
Corin interjects.
Okay.
So, why exactly are you paying for that kind of stuff?
And Nat kind of looks at you and kind of like touches her coin purse real quick, and she's like, "Well, I got a little bit of money to spend, and I mean, honestly, I could use a little bit of relaxation."
That's actually exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
Okay, and they head up there. I'm gonna take care of everyone who's heads up to the third floor. Is anyone else moving up to the third floor?
I'm staying here.
Okay.
Corin will ask, so, what exactly do you get for 5,000 gold?
Are you asking to the bartender?
Yeah.
And bartender again rolls his eyes and he says, "That's usually the standard asking price for Lady Katmera."
Lady what now?
Katmera, it's the dwarf you met. The female dwarf who owns the Squawking Box.
Who also owned Damus Harry's.
Who also owned Damus Harry's.
So, do you have any, what should I call it, Fae folk up there?
And he kind of looks towards you and he kind of nods. He says, and he looks towards you and he says, "If you're looking for something like that, I would suggest you speak to Yolone."
Yolone.
Yeah.
Who's that?
He's one of the workers she's one of the workers on the third floor. I think you find her most accommodating.
Okay.
Okay, so are you gonna go up to the third floor with the rest of them?
Yep.
Okay. You flutter up there and you actually make your way up to the third floor about the time, given that conversation, about the time that Nat and Conrad are reaching the third floor. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the people on the third floor real quick before we come back towards everyone who's not participating.
Mm-hmm.
So the three of... Was that? Was someone going to say something?
No.
Okay. So you guys make your way up to the third floor, and as soon as you guys hit the third floor, you're immediately hit with smells and scents and stuff like that. There's a lot of, like, the smell of almost fresh picked flowers, a hint of fruit in the air, a little bit of spice to it too, like a very pleasant smelling incense. And you guys, it's pretty standard, or pretty much like your guys' hallway. There are doors on both sides. There is a total of 8 doors, 4 on each side. And as soon as you get there, a few of the doors are open. And there is one person sitting right out in the front. There's actually 2 people. And you see a young male bard. And let me go ahead and pull this up. You see this gentleman. You guys see him?
I do not.
No, nor do I.
Okay. Let me double check.
Are you doing it on Roll20 or on the Discord?
It's on Roll20.
Okay, I don't see it then.
Okay, do you guys see it now?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, go under journal.
Yeah. Name's Galios.
Yeah.
Galios.
Ah, okay. I thought you were pulling it up. Oh.
That's the first gentleman you see.
Okay.
And the other person you see, and this person is literally wearing, both of these 2 people are literally wearing exactly what they're wearing in their picture. You see a young human, very dashing, pretty young, probably early 20s, and you also see a very large size dragonborn. He's not super tall. He's about a good like 6'5" ish. But he does have a lot of girth to him. And he's the first one you guys see, and he is just grinning from ear to ear. There's almost like a Zen Buddhist like vibe to this guy. And he immediately waves towards you guys, very soft and very slowly. And he says, "Oh, welcome to the 3rd floor. May I assist you at all?"
This is Gelos talking, right?
No, this is the large dragonborn.
Hello. Connor will say, we're just browsing. For now.
And the dragonborn says, do you have any needs that need met particularly? All of us on the 3rd floor have our certain specialties, and that may help you choose what you might pick for the evening.
No,
Well, go ahead.
So I was told this was to look for a woman named... What's the name?
Yulan?
Elon?
And Tyriak smiles, and he gestures down the hallway, and he points at the second room to the last on the right, and he says, go ahead and just knock on that door gently, and she should be able to see you. She's not currently with anyone.
Corin will do so.
Okay. You run over, or fly over, you knock on the door, and after a few moments you hear some light footsteps, and the door opens, and you see this person in front of you.
What exactly is she?
You are looking at a female gnome.
Okay.
Immediately, like, there's, she's, it reminds you of, like, just the way she presents herself and looks, and as you look in her room, you notice a lot of, to most people, strange plants and variety of art and stuff like that around her room, but for you, you instantly recognize a lot of this. This is a lot of Fae stuff. Things that are from the Feywild. And when she sees you, she smiles and she says, hi, may I help you?
How good looking is she?
Exactly how she is in the picture.
Out of character, what's her charisma?
I mean, she's very attractive.
Okay.
Especially to you. She does have a lot of the defining Fae features and stuff like that, like the cheekbones that kind of extrude a little bit, very slender body, almost whimsical motion. Her ears come to a nice point. There are a few piercings on them. And wrapped up in her hair, you actually do see some plant life wrapped up within her hair.
Corin will just fly in the air, jaw dropped.
Yeah, okay. She says, and she looks at you, gives you a once over, and she says, if you would like my services, that would be, and she kind of smiles a little bit, and she says, it's been a while since I've had to entertain a pixie. I'll say 50 gold.
I'm Corin.
And she kind of like takes her hand out and kind of ruffles the top of your head a little bit, and she's like, I'm sure you are.
Corin will take out the money.
Okay, go ahead and mark off 50 gold.
Yep.
And you follow her into the room, and I'm going to pause on yours real quick. Nat actually walks straight up to the Dragonborn after seeing, and she looks over at you, Conrad, real quick. Looks back over to the Dragonborn and smiles, and she's like, just walks over, and she's like, hi, what's your specialty? And he says, well, I'm actually the one who provides the most emotional support. And without a second, like, she already has her money bag out, like not counting or anything. She just holds it out in front of Tyriok, and she's like, "How much?" And he smiles, and he's like, "That'd be 20 gold." And she's like, "Let's go." And she like, he gestures to his open room. It's, Conrad, if you walk by, you can peek in, but this room is like literally there's like a big bed in the center of it. To the left, there's basically almost looks like a hot springs, like bathing area, and then there's like a table. You guys may not recognize it as a character, but it's basically a massage table. And there's on the bed, it's kind of a round bed, almost like a beanbag, and it's like, pillows everywhere. And he nods and escorts Nat into the room and closes the door. And Conrad, you are left in the hallway by yourself. There is the human male.
Yeah, so actually I was going to say, well, as soon as she does that, like as soon as the door closes, Conrad will say, "Girls." And then he'll go walk over to Galos.
Okay. You see him there.
So Conrad will kind of smile to him and say, what's your specialty?
Oh, I provide bardic entertainment.
Oh, okay.
With me, you get a nice show to go along with it. And he winks at you.
Oh, okay, I see.
Would you like to hear any of the other workers' specialty?
Sure. Can you kind of give me the rundown?
Of course. As you may have heard with Tyriok, he provides emotional support. I myself, Gelios, I provide bardic entertainment, and he points towards Yolone's door that you saw Corin enter, and he says her specialty is actually music and singing. She spent many years in the Feywild, and she knows how to get to people's inner emotions and feelings through song, and it's very entertaining time. If your friend didn't take her, I would say that she's also a good suggestion. And he looks you over, kind of looks at your kind of rough ranger outfits and stuff like that, and sees markings of blood and stuff like that, and he says, if you're looking for a deep relaxation, I would recommend Pain. And he points to a door. She specializes in massage therapy, and he's like just laughs for a second. She will make you feel like peanut butter in your hand. And then he points to another door. He says, there is Donathis. She is a tabaxi, and she specializes in acupuncture. And I'm sure you've seen Trey. He usually works as a bouncer to this fine establishment. He's the orc gentleman you see downstairs sometimes, and his specialty is food and drinks. And I believe Gypsy is currently seeing someone right now, but she's basically our seduction specialist. She knows the inner workings of men and women and knows how to twist them to her, twist them around her own fingers, and she can have you eating out of the palm of her hand by the end of the night. And that may sound dangerous, but it's all in good fun.
Quickly, out of character, if I do this, it's not going to be just a song, right?
Huh?
Out of character.
It's basically how this works, and how most brothels, if none of you guys are very familiar with legit brothels, there's two types of brothels. Modern times, it's mostly just one type where you go and have sex with people. But courtesans in Japan, China, and Europe during the Middle Ages, a lot of times it wasn't just sex. A lot of them had skills to where, sometimes when you go to, especially in Japan, some courtesans and stuff like that do not have sex at all. It's just you're wined and dined for the evening. You're kind of made to feel like a king for that that time, and you don't necessarily have sex, but if things go right, you can have sex.
Okay. So is it kind of along that line, or is it just kind of this as well as sex?
I mean, you can try to, again, it's up to the people on whether they accept you.
Okay. Yeah.
And even then, even if they take you, that's not guaranteed for sex unless you're upfront about it.
Okay. Well, Conrad will say, I'm definitely interested in hearing your story, but I'd like to your story as well, if you don't mind.
And he gives you a nod, and he's like, "Are you sure? I will admit I am one of the more pricier workers here." And he kind of looks you over. Says, "I don't, mean to hurt your pride, but a night with me is pretty expensive."
How much would you say that per se?
And he looks you over once, up and down once again, and kind of eyes you up, and he says, "Well, I haven't had a tiefling in a while." And he kind of like pinches your cheeks a little bit, and he's like, "And you are quite catching. I would say that you could spend an evening with me for 200 gold."
Conrad would kind of pause at that, and then say, "Where was the one who sang again?"
Oh, that's Yulon. Your other compatriot, the small one, seemed to dash in her door.
Oh, okay. And there was I'm actually kind of. Could you run it through me again?
Yeah, you also have a Tabaxi female, Donathis. She specializes in acupuncture. You have Pain, which you were told specializes in massage therapy. He did not tell you her race. Then there's Trey, the male orc that you see downstairs. His specialty is food. And Gypsy is busy.
Alright, so I guess Conrad would say, do you mind if I check in with Payne for a moment?
He's like, "Sure, go ahead and knock on that door." And it's basically the room across from Tyriok's room, so it's basically the closest one by the stairs.
Okay.
Okay.
Conrad would knock on his door, or her door.
Okay. And you see this person. Give me a second so I can do this. Sorry, I had to set it to where Moose could see it so he could decide stuff, and I gotta reset it to do all player. Okay, there we go. So this is who answers the door. This female tiefling stands about 8'5". And she is solid mass and muscle. And as soon as you knock on the door and she opens it and you're met with the sight, and she just kind of stares down at you and just lets out a grin. And you've run into a few tieflings here and there, and you've seen a few that, like their teeth can be a little sharp. She does smile, and she does have kind of like sharpened fangs. And she like looks down at you and she says, "Would you like to see me this evening?"
Conrad will then lightly chuckle and say, "I think I locked on the wrong door," and then he will go to
she like gets in kind of close towards you, and she's like within like a few inches of your face, and she has to lean down to do this, and she's like looks you over like real closely, and she grabs the front of your shirt and she says, "I think you picked the right room."
I'd rather not.
You can try to break the grapple if you'd like.
Not break it, but like he's just gonna kind of say that.
And she's like, "Oh, no. Pain take care of you." And she starts pulling you into her room.
Okay, now I want to resist the grapple.
Okay, go ahead and give me an athletics check.
It can be athletics or acrobatics, right?
Yeah, acrobatics or athletics. Let me pull up her stats. Yeah, I got stats for these guys.
Fuck. In character fuck as well.
Oh, natural 1. Okay, she rolled a 31.
Nice.
It's like paper in the wind, and she just pulls you in the room. And as you enter in this room, like, you see a very sturdy metal bed in the center of this room. And next to it is like a little nightstand filled with various bottles of things. You're not quite sure what they are. And there's a small area with a drainage area with like a little stool, and it looks kind of like a wash area that you could, like bathe yourself in, and the water will just drain out through this area. And it's it's lit with like purples, blues, and crimson colors of lights and stuff like that. But it smells very charming in here. And mind you, she's not wearing the armor. She's just wearing the kind of like the bikini top and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And she basically kind of sets you down at the edge of the bed. And she looks you over and she's like, normally I charge a lot for this, but I've never had one of my kind for a while. I'll charge you 30 gold.
Conrad will simply say, I'd really like to leave.
She says, that is your choice, but I don't think you'll find another that will treat you as well or as right for this price.
That's fine with me. Thank you, though.
What's your willpower? What's your willpower at?
Hang on, actually, let me check.
She's gonna roll.
Oh my god, is she rolling intimidation on me? 12, that's what it says.
Okay, you feel like a deer in headlights. You say that you want to go, but you find your body weak.
Oh my god, this is
and
horrifying.
her imposing nature and her slightly deeper, gruff voice compared to most females you're used to. And her horns, they are massive. Like you feel you're almost paralyzed with fear. And you really honestly can't get up. I mean, you're saying that you don't want to do this, but you, at this point, as soon as she says that and kind of like imposes herself over you standing a few feet up, because after she sets you down, you're probably only like 3 or 4 feet up off the ground. And she's literally towering over you twice the height that you're currently at.
So I got out of character. I have no choice in this matter, do I?
At this point, you're kind of too scared for your life.
I mean, I'm not sure what I can do at this one because I already said no and can't let me leave. So
I mean, your mouth said no, but you're not getting up and moving. You're kind of frozen in fear.
I'm just asking as a player's point of view, what do I do? Because I'm not an
If you absolutely want to try to get up, you could try to counter persuade her.
Like with regular persuasion.
Yeah, either bluff, diplomacy, or intimidate if you want to try to intimidate her.
Okay, so Connor will simply say, I really appreciate what you're trying to do for me, but I understand there are rules here, and I would like to abide by them.
And she looks at you and she's like, you are abiding by the rules. I chose you, and it's up to you if you want me. And she actually is going to go ahead and roll that check.
Diplomacy, I'm guessing?
Yeah, diplomacy.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh. Not even phased by that. But she's going to lean in and... Ooh, natural 20. Oh. Oh, and what's her bonus to that? It's only a +9 for that. She actually leans in real close, and her large hand goes in towards your back, and the other one grabs your shoulder, and she deeply massages just for a split moment. And when she does this, it feels like your whole body is going limp. Like you've never felt this much. Just, it's not like painful force either. It's the perfect amount of massage. And you just, your muscles give out and you almost collapse. And with this, you feel pretty convinced that, you know, a mixture of fear and her getting like, because as she's doing this, she's very close to you, like face to face, and like you can feel her breath on you, and you're kind of turned on by it.
Oh god.
Between the fear and this, you're actually starting to wonder, like, maybe this might is a good idea.
So Conrad will just kind of pause, like thinking to himself for like a solid moment, like a solid minute, right?
Okay.
Then he'll kind of, you know, kind of quirk his head, like, okay.
Okay, so you're gonna go for it?
Out of character, I kind of have no choice at this point.
You kind of don't after 2 nat ones. And I mean, her charisma, you know, is pretty decent. So between the intimidation and the seduction you just got, you're kind of entrapped.
Yeah. So...
There's this balance of sweetness and like spicy to her that is kind of tweaking a few nerves for you.
It's kind of like that thing that you don't expect.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you're like, oh shit, I'm into this. Fuck. I'm into this. God damn it. So yeah. At this.
To go along with it, because
Okay.
at this point there's nothing else to do.
Mark off the 20 gold. You did get her at a pretty fucking good discount. Wait, was it 20 or 30 gold?
20.
Okay. Okay, and I will go through these rooms one by one, minus Nats. So Corn, in your room, it's, you know, like I said, there's a lot of exotic plants. To you, not so much. They're just a lot of fey plants and stuff like that, and there's artwork depicting certain scenes in the Feywild, and there's a few scents and stuff that immediately hit your nose. And you're drawn over to this one table that is on the side with a large, glass, almost like a vase pitcher, and you're drawn to it. You don't even need a perception check for this one, and you go up close to it and smell it. Give me a nature check.
Okay, 1 sec.
Oh no, Corn. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is Fey wine. This is the first time you've smelled or even been in the vicinity of Fey wine since, a long time. It immediately triggers emotions and memories. And for the first time, you almost get a sense of, like, true home. And she notices you going over there, and she's like, "You're welcome to a glass if you'd like."
Thanks.
Okay. You get yourself a glass, and it is delicious. Everything you remember and more. Because in the Feywild, there's really aren't age restrictions to, like, drinking wine. And, Fey wine is something that is, in your time outside of the Feywild, it's rare and expensive. Like, this glass that you probably drank is probably worth a couple hundred gold.
Okay.
And she sits down on her bed. It's a nice, comfortable bed. There's a headboard on it that wraps around it, and you see some vines and stuff growing on it. And she pets right next to her on the bed.
Corin flutters over and sits down.
And she kind of like puts her hand like softly on your back, and she says, "So, what are you seeking this evening?"
I just wanted to see a bit of home, and this is more than I could have ever imagined.
She smiles very deeply. She's like, "I'm happy I could bring that to you." And she says, "Why don't you sit here and, for a moment?" And she actually walks over towards the corner of the room and picks up a book, flips to a page. You see her close her eyes for a moment, and with a flash, the bed that you're currently sitting on immediately shrinks down to pixie size. And you're pretty nestled up and comfy, and you're sipping on your Fey wine, and she walks towards the center of the room, and she pulls out a violin and starts playing. Ooh, 18 plus 10, so 28. Okay, immediately you are hit with a song that pulls back to your earliest memories. One of the most popular songs that exist in the Feywild, and she plays it masterfully. More so than you've probably ever heard in your life. And you are entranced by it. Like, the memories of home just come flooding to you. What's your willpower out at? Or will defense? 17? You begin to cry. It's emotional for you, like just how well she's playing it with the scenery of the Fey plants in the background, the taste of the Fey wine on your lips. Like, you're home.
Corin will take out his violin and try to tune in.
Okay, go ahead and try. Okay, you don't exactly match her. But you come pretty close, and she looks up as you begin to play, and she begins to smile, and you guys kind of almost. The song is how it's written is there are there is multiple parts to it, so as you guys are playing it, when it comes to the chorus and stuff like that, you kind of double over the chorus and stuff to where it's almost like a dueling violins, but it's very melodic, very elegant sounding, and you're just thoroughly enjoying yourself. And after a while, the song ends, and she just looks to you and asks, "Is there anything else you would like, or shall I just continue?"
Yes, continue.
And she says, if you wouldn't mind, could you please put yours away? This is...
Yep.
I know, pixies enjoy playing music, but, this is for you to enjoy.
Okay.
Okay, and she continues to play. And given the time it is and the day that you've had, I would say between the wine, which Fey wine is fucking potent, between the wine, the rough day, you didn't have to run the distance, but between the battles and stuff like that, you're getting pretty tired. And as you start getting relaxed and you start to yawn, stuff like that, she slowly softens the music just to where it's barely in and out, and unless you want to resist it, you are falling asleep.
He'll just fall asleep.
Okay.
And have a nice night.
Okay, and you fall asleep, the warm Fey wine in your belly, the music softly playing in your ear, and honestly, you probably have another, tear just ringing down your cheek, because, for the first time in a very long time, you're home.
Funny part, I was about to say he starts to cry when you asked me what
Yeah.
the whole call was.
Yeah, trust me, I'm starting to learn you guys' characters pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, that is Corn's evening. Conrad.
Yes.
As you pay her the gold, she stands up and she says, "Pain will take care of you." And she points over to the little corner wash area. She says, "Take off your clothes and sit there."
I do so.
Okay. There's a little bench over there to sit down on, and a little table that you can take all your equipment and your gear and stuff, and you put it over there. She walks over to this one dresser, and there's a box there, and she slides her finger across the front of it, and a few runes light up. And then suddenly the room is filled with soft music. And even though you've run into a few tieflings, you wouldn't recognize this song, but the melody seems unique. In your village, you've never heard anything like it. A lot of towns and taverns you've been into, it's a little weird, but as the music begins to play, and she starts walking over towards you, and you don't see her because your back is kind of facing her. You're kind of facing the corner, but you can feel her footfalls, and it's just boom, boom, as it's getting closer and closer, and you just feel the presence behind you. And she says, "Do you recognize this song?"
Out of character, die.
No, it's a little weird.
No, I haven't.
She kind of laughs a little, gives a slow rumbling chuckle, "You know nothing of tieflings, do you?"
I don't know.
Pain could see it on your face. And she puts both hands on your shoulders, and she says, "This is a song from our past, our history. Let it fill your body." And as she says that, you've been kind of just giving in at this point. And so you do. And after a few moments, the song that seemed kind of disjointed and a little rough and kind of weird starts to sink in. And you can feel it in your blood. As a tiefling, you've learned that your guys' blood is somewhat unique compared to a lot of the other mortal races, and some stories that you've heard in your travels talk about the fire of the tiefling bloodline. And for the first time in your life, you can feel that fire burning up inside of you. It's not painful. It's like a warm comfort that excites you and calms you both at the same time. And you feel like you're on a tipping point where you could either A, fall asleep or go into a brutal rage. Like, it is just, it's very weird. You're not used to it. And as you kind of like you start swinging just a little bit to the tune, you feel the pressure on your shoulders intensify as she starts like massaging your shoulders. And she does it with one hand while she reaches over towards the side, and there's a bucket, and she starts pouring the water over you. It's a nice, to most people this would be scalding, boiling hot water, but to you it's a nice, like hot water. And you feel it just envelop your body, and like it just instantly like washes everything away. Between the music, her like massaging your back and shoulders, like you're starting to melt, and like she almost has to prop you up a little bit. And over the next like 5 or 10 minutes, as she does this, she never stops massaging you, and she'll just like hit one area with her hand while her other hand is scrubbing you basically from head to toe. And by time she finishes, after like 10 or 15 minutes, she takes one last bucket of hot water and dumps it over you and just washes off all the soap and the leftover grime of your recent adventure. And you feel like a newborn goddamn baby. Like the scrubber she used was kind of rough, and like you can that when you get out of the shower after you just clean the shit off of your body and you just have that new fresh skin feeling. That's how you're feeling right now. And she hands you a towel and she motions over to the bed and she says, "You go there."
Does so.
Okay. And she walks over to another cabinet and she picks up two things, two large vials, and she hands you the first one. She says, "You drink this."
Does so.
Okay. And it's you were kind of by the color, it's like a weird purplish liquid. You were expecting probably like a wine or something like that. This tastes very herbal. And there's a severe burn to it, but it reaches such a severity with the burn that it goes into just numbness. And as soon as you drink it, like you just like instantly go ahead and roll me an endurance check.
Yeah, 1 sec.
Okay. You are now currently high.
Okay.
Like you've had some experience with picking the wrong plants and stuff anytime you've had to fend for yourself in the forest. And you know what to, look out for now, but you've made mistakes. But this is very pleasant feeling. Like the real world equivalent to what you are feeling right now is basically ecstasy. The room feels like it's melting. Yeah, everything feels soft and comfy, and like you're just in a zone. And time kind of passes by, like you're not quite sure how long it is, but eventually you feel like just this intense pressure around your midsection. And you kind of like peek over your shoulder and realize that pain is now straddling like right around your butt. And she has the other thing of the other vial she has, and she starts pouring it in her hand, and sets the bottle down and begins to massage you. And Jesus. Okay, so that is a 34. You haven't had too many full body massages in your life, but from this point on, you are hooked. Between the stuff that you just drank and her, like you lose all sense of time, space, everything. Like there's a few times it feels like you're flipped over, and like you'll close your eyes, you'll wake up, open up your eyes, and instead of staring, face first on the bed, you're now staring at the ceiling. And then you'll close your eyes and you'll open your eyes again, and then you're on your side. And you're not quite sure how she's doing this, but she's moving your body, like posing you around like a rag doll, and you're just helpless to it. But you feel amazing. And you're pretty much like, you're basically in game terms, like you are almost unconscious at this point. Like you are basically at like that 1 HP. Like that's what she's doing to you. She's hurting you through extreme loving. Like you just are, like you are basically at this point dominated by her. And you know, like she eventually like brings her body close to yours, and she says, "Shall we continue?" As you feel her hand kind of going towards your waistline.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a sex roll.
Out of character, you said like I had no control over any of that, right? So
I mean, you could verbally try to say no, but you would have to do a willpower save.
I'm just.
You got to remember, you are high, and you've just gotten massaged by this large woman for the last. You have no clue how long. Could be hours, could be days. You're not quite sure. But this is some of the most extreme pleasure you've ever had in your life.
I'm just gonna roll it.
Okay. 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 And okay. Yeah, she beat you in every category. So your night is, I mean, you're, as far as you moving around and stuff like that, you are a little, high, but you're able to, follow the motions of what's happening and stuff like that. So you're able to keep up with that, but she is strong. And through most of the night, you don't even have to do anything. She just kind of does all the work. Like, she moves you where she wants you moved, and you're kind of like a rag doll in the wind at this point. You're a leaf in the wind. And she completely destroys you. Like, between the massage and everything, like, you last a pretty okay time, but she wrecks you. Like, you're at the point, like, you're at death's door as far as, like, wanting to pass out and being so relaxed. And she just, like, leans in, "No, one more time." And you're just like, "No!" But you're still saying yes at the same time. And surprisingly, for her size and everything, she's very sensual. And she's hits every single spot that you need. And between the massage and this, like, you are on cloud 9. And eventually, and you don't even know when, you eventually just pass out.
Okay.
Okay. The rest of you guys down in the bar, you guys see them go upstairs. And what would you guys like to do? That would be Sin and Cletus.
Cletus can go
Yep.
first.
There's no fights going on in the fight pit, right?
No, it's pretty dead right now.
I'm just gonna chill at the bar. That's all I kind of want to do right now.
Okay. It is getting pretty late at this point. Like it's hitting around midnight, so you guys are both pretty tired. And after the battles, running and having to run all the way back here carrying 2 children, you're pretty exhausted.
Yeah, but he still wants to stay up for a while.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an endurance check. Okay, you're now officially at 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Sin, what would you like to do?
Sin would try and get attention of the bartender.
Okay. He walks over towards you.
What's the most expensive drinks that you guys have?
And he looks you up and down real quick. He says, "Well, we have a few various fine wines. A pretty decent bottle of fine wine will cost you 5 gold pieces."
I buy 3 of them.
Okay, he hands them over to you.
I walk over to Cletus, put one in front of him, then go up to my room.
Okay. You make your way to your room. It's it's a different room than you had last time, I believe, but pretty same setup. Nice comfy bed. Nice wash basin. You just go to sleep?
Well, I'm just gonna be drinking on the bed.
Okay. And you do that. You get off your adventuring gear, slink down to your, skivvies, and Probably, you rinse yourself off?
Yes.
Okay. You rinse yourself off and, make your way to bed, and you just kind of sit there sipping on your wine. Your dragonling is, perched over on a table, kind of looking out the window, talking to itself.
Huh.
Would you like to know what he's saying?
Yes.
Okay, he's basically recounting what you guys have been through for the last few days and talking about maybe what to do next. And he's kind of arguing with himself on, whether that festival is going to be worth their time or if it's going to be fun.
Huh. I say, hello to the, or I say, hello, voice that talked to me earlier. You there?
Silence.
I just lay back and just close my eyes then.
Okay. You eventually fall asleep. Okay, Cletus.
Yep. I am still just wanting to chill at the bar.
Okay, how late are you trying to push it?
Let's see, what time did we come in?
You guys got here around like 11:30ish. Between turning in the quest and stuff like now, coming to the bar, eating, it's about like almost pushing towards 1.
Okay, I want to try to stay up till 2.
Okay. You stay up until 2. At this point, a few of the dwarves that were drinking have already gone home. Trey nods over to the guy and he says, "If you need me, I'll be up in my room." And the bartender nods and Trey goes up the stairs.
Okay. I'm gonna try to stay up another hour.
Okay, so 3 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me another endurance check. Okay, you're able to do it.
Okay. And I'm assuming the bar's pretty empty at this point.
Yeah. It's just the bartender that you've been dealing with, and like 1 or 2 humans and 1 dwarf just sitting in the table at a table over here, just kind of playing a slow game of cards. One of them's kind of nodding off, but it's basically you and these 4 other people.
I'm gonna go over and see what kind of card game they're playing.
You don't recognize it.
What game are you playing there?
Oh, it's called Battle.
Would you mind explaining to me how it's played?
Oh, sure. And he motions to everything as they're playing the card. Have you ever heard of the card game War?
Yes.
This is basically a 3-front version of War. Instead of doing 1 card a beat, you send out 3 face down, and you get to order the cards in whatever order. And the person who wins the most battles in each ring, you win that clutch.
Okay. Interesting. Do you mind if I play around, or?
Sure. Could you let us finish this one? I will let you know that these games can last a few hours.
Okay. I'll just sit and watch for a while then.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check. Just a straight wisdom roll. Okay. You pick up the game pretty easy. You see the roots. It has roots in like basic military strategy of, like just how do you position your troops to gain yourself the most advantage. It's kind of countering, like what your opponent lays in certain slots to try to, read their strategy. It's a pretty simple yet complex game, and it's something that you can play straight up, or if you have some skill and knowledge and are able to read people, you probably be able to do very well using skill.
Okay.
About another hour goes by, and they finish their game, and they kind of look towards you, and they're like, looking out, and they're like, sorry, we gotta head home for the evening.
So I'm alright. If you just see me in here another night, let me know and I'll play with you guys.
The dwarf nods. He's like, I wouldn't mind taking your gold, and he kind of chuckles as he leaves.
You wish.
And he looks towards the bartender, and he's like, "Have a good night, Felden." And he nods towards him.
Okay. I am gonna head up to my room and go to bed.
Okay.
I'm gonna wash off and then go to bed.
Okay. You the same. You find your great little bed, and you settle down for the evening. And okay, so you guys are all asleep. We're actually gonna end the session right there. Don't go anywhere. Everyone take a 5-10 minute break as you guys are all asleep.
So basically, we're gonna cut the session short as Moose isn't here. What you're saying?
He's not here. He left.
Uh,
But he said take a 5 to 10 minute break. So
Yeah.
I don't know on that one.
Are we still on live stream right now, or I don't know?
I guess. Conrad has a new crush. Conrad has a new crush.
Please save that till after the stream plays, because I have some words. Damon,
Oh, okay.
are we still live?
Yes, we are still live. The campaign part is done, but I have something else for us for this evening.
Okay.
So once everyone's back, we will continue with that.
PvP?
Actually, more than likely, I'll save what I have planned for it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll let the dice decide. Okay, we're going to continue with what I have planned. Oh, and just let you guys know, this was Trey. This is the orc that you guys have seen as the bouncer. Who are we still missing?
T-Dog.
Okay. Face, you back?
Never left.
Sin, you there?
Do what now?
Okay. So just T-Dog.
Yep.
So how'd you guys
Be away.
like my brothel?
I will say my concerns after the stream.
Okay.
Please.
I'm back.
Okay, so go say what you're gonna say, Damon.
First, go through and you guys are all back up to full health.
Okay.
Refill your healing surges, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Set 14, 45, okay. Net. I already got his. Okay, is everyone's health and stuff back up to where it should be?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys are, drift to sleep, you're not met with any dreams, just darkness and a voice. And it starts with a laughter. A very deep, menacing laughter. And he says, I've been watching you. I think you'll provide me with a lot of entertainment. And my entertainment I want to see is for you to die and kill. And suddenly you're drift open in the sky and you're just falling towards Earth, hundreds of feet up. And you see the Earth coming closer and closer and closer. And you land at the dirt and nothing happens. You just land on the dirt as if you jumped right up in the air. You look around and you do not recognize where you're at. And till the end of this encounter, you guys are all charmed.
We're awake, or?
Yes, you're awake and sitting in a daylight in a town that you do not recognize.
Okay.
Charm means what exactly?
Possessed, right?
Yeah, you're basically you're given a command that you have to follow.
Okay. Oh god damn it, Battle Royale.
And the charm is basically that you need to fight for your survival. I need everyone to roll me initiative.
Okay.
I rolled twice for that.
Yeah, you did.
So he's actually got a 19. That's still higher than. Okay, where is? Ooh. I'm crazy. Okay, there it goes.
Well, you guys have fun. I'm dead.
It was nice seeing you, Sin.
There we go.
I mean, don't say anything yet.
Conrad, Corin, you're lucky. You're next to Daylock. He will never hit you. I'm next to Nat and Demo Series. They hit for 18.
Okay, so Sin, did you roll twice?
Nope, just once.
Okay, I think I know what happened. I think you guys were left over on the turn order from last time somehow. So let me. Okay, yeah. So you rolled a 15, and you're okay.
I think you rolled Daylock twice.
I did, but he rolled a 19 for his first one.
Okay.
Ooh. God damn it! This turn order thing is finicky sometimes. There we go. Is everyone in the turn order? Yes, it is. Okay, let us begin. Let me move this out of the way real quick.
No, bad cow.
Okay, Daylock is going to dash to get up to here. And he's going to hold an action. Conrad, you're up.
So, what exactly am I tasked to do here?
Kill anyone you see, survive.
Okay. Guess Conrad would go. Hang on, wait, let me measure it out first.
Basically, you guys are all, when you wake up and land, you guys are filled with a sense of fear and urgency to where you know something's coming for you and you need to defend your life. You don't know where it's coming from, anything. Okay, so you move over there.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Yep.
Or wait, what's your passive perception?
Let me check. Passive one?
Yeah.
17.
Okay, I would say that you do see someone climb or on the roof of that house.
Measure it out. Because I'm supposed to engage whoever I can see, right?
Basically, you know everyone's your enemy.
Okay.
And when you look at Daylock, there's no memory of Daylock whatsoever. You do not recognize this person. You just see him as an immediate threat.
Conrad will ready an action to... Actually, you can't even get in range with him right now, so... Yeah, that's a pretty far distance. I guess Conrad will stealth and ready an action to hit Daylock if he comes within 30 feet.
Okay, because of your level and your other things, to stealth would be an action.
Okay.
So
I guess he would just stealth then.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth. Okay, not bad. You kind of, that is a tent that you're next to, and you kind of like just duck into it a little bit. Does that end your turn?
That does end my turn, yeah.
Okay. Corn, you're up.
How high is this tree? The one above me.
That tree is a good 20-30 feet up in the air.
Corin will go there and fly up as high as he can into the tree.
Okay. You are able to make it up to the top of the tree.
Okay.
And from there you can see Daylock at that point, and you do see a large minotaur over here kind of behind this tent.
Oh, he can see me.
He's 30 feet up in the air, and that where that house is to the top, there is a slight elevation going towards it.
Okay.
Then next I'm gonna use Song of Courage. So +1 on all damage rolls. And Vicious Mockery on Daylock.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that attack, and seeing him get attacked, he's going to let loose his ability as well. No. Daylock sucks. Let me see.
What the hell?
Okay, that it does hit. What do you say for your Vicious Mockery?
You're just some wannabe paladin who got rejected and got into it because of your stupid hair.
Well, remember, you don't recognize him at all.
Oh.
You have no memory of this person, and that's why that Minotaur just looks like a Minotaur to you.
But stupid hair is a pretty viable,
Yeah. Okay, you say he has stupid hair?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. He kind of looks at you and looks at his hair real quick, and he's like, oh, and he goes to kind of shake it off. He seems down about it, but he's not too shaken up by it. And then you see him reach for his holy symbol, and he tries to cast. You see radiant energy strike towards you, but it misses and hits the tree you're in.
So I did deal the 9 damage, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's my turn.
Okay. Next, Cletus.
Cletus is gonna move over here and hold an action.
Okay.
So holding an action, how does that work?
You're able to hold your action. I'm not a huge prick about it. You just when you do have to make a rule about it. So when you see someone, what's your triggering action?
When they attack me.
Okay, so you're waiting for someone to attack.
Yes.
Okay. Does that end your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Nat is going to charge up here. That's all she can get to. Say from her height, she doesn't see anyone, so she's going to hold her action if she sees anyone. Damasaries is going to come over to here, kind of looking around. He's going to see if he sees anyone. He ain't seeing shit. And when he runs through the bush area, he gets swiped in the face and kind of hurts his eye a little bit. Sin, you're up.
Sorry, just rebooted Roll20 because it crashed on me.
No problem.
Huh. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go into this cart right here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hide.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Bam.
Okay, it has benches in the carts. You just kind of crawl under it. Being gnomish size, it's pretty easy for you to get in tight areas, and you just kind of hide in there. Is that gonna end your turn? Okay. Daylock only seeing one threat. He's gonna move over. No, he's going to stay where he's at, and he's just going to try to launch another attack at you. Actually, let me pull up his powers real quick, because he has something new, and I'm not used to it. Okay, he is going to reach for his holy symbol, and he's going to bless himself. And then he is going to reach out his hand and he's just going to cast Lance of Faith again. And completely misses.
Nope.
You just kind of dodge out of the way. That's going to be his turn. Yeah, what's your reflex at?
Reflex is at 15.
Okay, yeah, misses. Okay, Conrad, you're up.
So Conrad will ready in action to Thunder, Tusk, Boar Strike anyone who comes within range of his bow.
Okay, is that going to end your turn?
Yeah, my turn.
Okay. Corin, you're up.
Okay. First of all, Aaron's gonna use Echoing Weapon on his sword.
Okay.
And Vicious Mockery again. On Deadlock.
Okay.
Nope.
Let me double check. Did someone just laugh at the fact that I have to check to see if an 8 hits Daylock?
Maybe.
Okay, it does not hit.
So, your owl is a bird. Yeah.
I mean, he just looks at you like kind of confused, like, yeah, it's a bird. And he doesn't suffer any damage from it. Cletus, you're up.
Okay, Cletus is going to come up here. And can he see that?
Hold on a second. No, you do not.
Okay.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you got just a few more squares of movement left.
Okay. Go. There, I guess.
Okay. Surprisingly, you still do not see her.
Okay, then I'm just gonna hold my action.
Okay, so to where if you see any, now.
If I see someone attack me, I will attack them.
Okay. And Nat's turn. She's going to come over to here. Oops. Oh, that's why it wasn't moving. Over here, and she's just going to look around. And she does not see anyone, so she's going to hold her action. And Daemis is gonna come up over here. Still not seeing anyone. Okay, and he's going to hold an action. Sin, your turn.
Just a quick question. I know we're charmed, but do we still have some resonance of our former selves?
You have all the faculties of who and what you are and what you're capable of.
Okay, but like
you just know you're in a dangerous situation and you need to live.
Okay, do we have like some of our old personality?
Yeah.
We just like don't remember the last 6 days.
I get out of the caravan thingy.
Okay.
And I start filling my pockets with sand or whatever this stuff is on this.
Yeah,
road.
it's packed of dirt and sand and stuff like that.
Yes, I fill my pockets with it.
Okay, that's going to take your action to do that.
Yes, in my turn.
Okay. Daylock, seeing that his side of the house is really not getting him too many advantages, is going to come over to here and cast Lance of Faith on you again.
Oh, please.
You say that until it hits. Which it doesn't.
Perfect setup.
Okay, that's gonna be his turn.
So currently I still have my held action, correct?
As soon as the start of your turn, it's gone.
Okay, well, I'll rehold my action.
Okay.
The Thunder Tusk Spore Strike. And can I just do a perception check? Like, is that kind of an action as well, or?
Yeah, that is going to be an action, yes.
Okay, well then I'll just do what I said before. Thunder Tusk Spore Strike. Anyone who comes within range of my bow.
Okay. Corn?
Corn's pretty happy with the situation, so...
You're just going to keep Vicious Mockery? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that hits.
9 damage. And Corn's gonna say... Even your god doesn't wanna bless you.
He looks a little perturbed by that. Why can't I do simple math right now? Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, he's bleeding pretty good. He's pretty hurt. There's psychic damage tends to leave trails of blood out of people's ears and nose.
Okay.
So yeah, he's bleeding and he looks a little messed up. Is that gonna end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Cletus.
Okay. Cletus is gonna move down here to where he can see Nat.
Okay, as soon as you turn around like that, turn around the corner, she's going to use her held action. Let me look at her moves real quick. Okay, she's going to use Dragon Faust against you. Does a 20 hit?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yep.
she deals 15 damage, and you are pushed back 1 square.
Okay. I am then going to use Goring Charge on her.
Okay, go ahead and roll it. Okay, that hits.
Okay. He is knocked prone.
Okay, and that's
And as a
9,
minor
so...
action, I'm going to use Unstoppable.
Okay. Yeah, just in the blue, I set it up for temporary HP, so...
Got it.
And that's 9
That's my
damage.
turn.
Okay. Next is going to be Nat's turn. She is going to summon some spectral claws and spin in a whirl. And she's going to cast Tearing Claws on you. And that misses. You're able to dodge out of the way.
Yeah.
How come she never hits
She
anyone?
never hits
Did it-
anyone with that ability.
Didn't she
Yeah.
need to use her action to be unprone?
That she used part of her movement.
Okay. Just double check.
Oh, wait. God damn it. Am I mixing it up with 5th edition rules again? Give me a second. I gotta double check this. Okay, yeah. It's move action to stand up.
Okay.
And that will end her turn, and it's Daemissaries. Okay, he's gonna come over to here and kind of peek around. He does not see you, and you still do not see him.
But he is in range of my. Yeah, I don't see him.
If you can't see him, you can't see him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the foliage right there is a very tall bush.
All right, cool.
And because you're still kind of continue to stealth by the tent, like you're kind of more over towards like this position a little bit more. If it was like real life, but
Yeah, I have a stealth of 28, so he's definitely not seeing me unless you know.
And that's gonna be his turn. He's gonna hold an action. Sin, you're up.
Okay. Oh, wait, wrong one. I'm going to move here. Yaha! And I'm going to use Hypnotism on Cletus to attack Nat.
Okay, let me double check. What's the range on hypnotism? 10? Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll it. Okay, Cletus, go ahead and make a melee basic attack against Nat.
And then it's also going to be +4.
Yeah.
To the AC.
Okay, that hits. Cletus, you're not quite sure why or how, but you feel your body move by itself, and you just lunge out at this strange young female elf you see in front of you.
And I'm going to use my minor action, and use Ghost Sound and make it sound like, or use it on, like, Cletus's armor and make it say, or in that area that, and, it's going to say, the Shire, I guess.
Okay. Cletus and Nat, you both, they both hear the Shire coming out from seemingly nowhere.
And, I end my turn.
Okay. Daylock is up next. He's a little messed up, so he's probably gonna do something about that.
Cry.
Hey, I mean, he might not be able to hit anything, but he's okay when it comes to, like, healing. Sort of.
He heals himself for 1.
God, that would be hilarious.
Heals himself for -1. Wait, what?
Okay, yeah, he's going to use Healing Word to heal himself up a little bit. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, and he is going to again, actually let me see the range on this. Oh yeah, you are just in range for that. He's going to try to switch it up, and instead of Lance of Faith, he's going to try to hit you with Sacred Flame. Which misses.
0 to hit. Great.
Okay, yeah. So, Conrad, you are up.
Same ready to action.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so just Sports Strike, all that stuff. And I will end my turn.
Okay. Corn, you're up.
Have a guess.
Okay, what do you say?
Also, you have stupid white hair.
He looks at you. You already said that. And that does that end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Cletus, you are up next.
Yep, and Cletus is going to use Brash Strike on that.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Ouch.
Okay, it's natural 20. That is 10 plus or 4 plus 4. That's 19? Yeah, 19.
Yep.
Okay, with that attack, she's looking pretty haggard.
Let's kill each other.
And I have
yes.
combat advantage on her until the start of my next turn.
Okay. Does that end your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Feeling a little messed up and kind of out of options. Actually, as soon as you hit her with that, she's going to use a reaction and cast Dragon Flame Mantle, hitting you for 8 damage.
Okay. Guess that's unavoidable.
Yeah, it's basically just boom. As you hit her, fire just outbursts from her being, and the flames scorch you.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I gotta double check this power because I see if it's worded right. She is going to try to use. Range. Really doesn't have too many that should be able to use. Range, close burst. Close. Oh, okay, that's good. She's going to. You see her start inhaling some wind, and you hear a crackling of energy as she outbursts, and a breath of lightning comes your way, dealing 21 damage. Okay. And that's going to end her turn.
Could I have a reaction to that, or
If you have a reaction, yeah.
how do I know if I have a reaction or not?
It's not a ranged spell. If that's what you're getting at.
Wait, what?
Are you talking about because she casted a spell and you're in melee range?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not a ranged spell. That's a close blast.
Okay.
She basically just spewed out lightning from her mouth, like right in your face.
Okay.
Okay, Daemissaries. He sees what's going on, and he sees that no one's looking towards him. Let me do a check for him to see which route he's gonna take. Okay. He's going to move over here and immediately see you in charge. So I will say that you are able to make your attack against him.
Okay.
But because he is charged and in your range, technically you're making a ranged attack and you're in his threatened zone.
Okay.
Huh.
Now, so you got a perception check that beat my stealth?
It's when you're hiding in cover, you have that stealth. You are sitting in a tent. As soon as he turns the corner, he's going to be able to see you.
Okay.
Like,
so,
if you were in the bushes and he passed by, that would be a different story. When you're right up next to someone and you don't have true cover and concealment, it's like Sin the other day when he was on the beach front and he was like, I'm going to stealth. And it's like, okay, you're stealth in the middle of an open area, but you're low to the ground. It's kind of what you're doing.
Makes
Like,
sense.
you kind of ducked in the tent a little bit to hide yourself. So as he was traveling around, he couldn't see you. Daylock couldn't either, but up close, I mean, unless you turn invisible, he's going to see you.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So you were saying about my reaction?
Yeah, you're able to attack with your move, but I gotta look real quick because technically he charged you as you're able to see him, so I don't know if that would qualify as, because technically they're both happening at the same time.
Now, so also just the since it can make you, it could probably help you. This can also be used as a melee attack as well.
Oh, the thunder? Yeah, roll it then as melee. Unless you want to use it as, no, you technically said as soon as someone,
ranged,
yeah. So go ahead and roll it as a ranged attack.
Okay. And now, since it's a new power, do I have to roll it twice since it's 2 attacks, or do I just roll it once?
Roll it real quick.
Okay.
Let me see here.
Because in the power card it says it's 2 attacks.
Yeah, it's 2 attacks. Go ahead and roll it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is 21 damage. As soon as he turns the corner, you pop off the 2 arrows as he's charging into you, and the shots kind of knock him off balance.
Shouldn't it be 28 for the
Yeah,
natural
because
20?
the other one's nat 20.
Oh yeah, sorry. So that's,
Also, the added effect of it. With each hit, you push the target 1 square. If both attacks hit the same target, you push the target a number of squares equal to 1 plus your wisdom modifier.
what's your wisdom modifier?
And I'm getting to that. Wisdom modifier 1, so 2 total.
Yeah, he'd still be able to connect with the attack with his movement.
Yeah, so he's pushed it back 2 squares.
And I will
And then-
say, because of the knockback, you were able to hold him back so he does not get the melee attack against you for doing a range attack at close melee range. Your pushback kind of saved you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta pull up his powers real quick to make sure I'm not messing this up. So I gotta double check to see if that attack he did against you did hit. Okay, no, it does not. Okay, and that's going to. Let me see. You guys any other ones? And that's going to be it for him.
So, just before we move on, just so I understand it clearer, he saw me charge at me, I hit him, he backed up 2, and then he came up again.
Yeah, basically, like, you kind of stopped him in his tracks, but he was able to finish the charge, and he did miss the attack, probably from being knocked off balance by your arrows, but Both your attacks landed, and his attack did not.
Okay. So he's still in front of me. Gotcha.
Yep. Sin, you're up.
Phantasm Chasm.
Okay, where are you going to put it?
Wait. Let me make sure I read it right. Area burst 1 within 10 squares. So it's gonna be centered on the elf girl.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, go ahead and roll that attack.
Okay.
Shit. Damn it. Sorry.
I believe that misses both of them.
On a miss, it still does half damage, and they're still knocked prone.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you take 5 damage, Cletus. And you and Nat, as you guys look down, like there's just a random hole and an abyss that opens up on the top of this house. And to you, you fall down. But you are now prone, and you take that 5 damage.
And then
I did not hear anything you said. Hold on, let me disconnect from TeamSpeak.
Okay.
While he's reconnecting, I'm also going to say I'm going to use my action point but after he comes back.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and mark off the damage for him. Boop.
Is Daylock still bloodied after he healed himself?
No, he's not. His wounds have healed up.
Mental maths.
I know.
User in your channel
Okay, there he
timed
goes. You guys enjoying the battle royale so far?
I could have done something way better, and I can't. It's too late now to do it.
Yeah, I also forgot that one of my spells only lasts for 2 rounds and not for the rest of the encounter.
Which one?
Hmm?
Which one, Corn?
Echoing weapon.
Yeah. I mean, it's only a melee damage, anyways.
Yeah, but I thought I could just keep it there until I.
Did have to use it? No.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I had unbalancing parry, and as soon as the guy misses, I can use that as an immediate reaction. But it's too late now, so.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yep. T-Dog saying you can't reconnect.
Also, everybody's like having an epic fight, throwing spells and stuff, and there's just this pixie shouting at some guy that doesn't hit anything.
Hey, you!
It's like miss, yell, miss, yell, miss, yell. I'm honestly wondering who's in the most danger right now. I think I have the idea of who's in the most danger.
I am probably.
Yeah, you're not in a pretty spot. That's because I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, he might try to back up to continue cover because he saw the people, but he's a strategist at heart, so he knows he has to kill them, but he didn't want to leave his back exposed. So I rolled the dice, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure my back isn't exposed. So that's why he went the back way. And just for your reference, Conrad, this right here, the stump right here, that's a good 20 feet in the air. So if you try to hit on anyone on the roof, you have to go around that. Just FYI. Okay.
Cool.
Welcome back.
I went ahead and marked off the damage for you for your fall damage. Basically, as you are fighting this elf on the roof, a gaping hole, an abyss opens underneath your feet, and you get the sensation of falling, and you're fallen prone, and you've taken 5 damage. I've already marked that off, and you're currently prone, but you quickly realize that it's an illusion.
Okay.
But it does knock you on your ass.
Okay.
And go ahead and continue, Sin.
Force orb on the elf girl.
Okay, go ahead and roll it. Wait, is Phantom... Oh, yeah, never mind. I know what you did. Okay. The orb slams her, and she just crumples to the ground.
Okay. And secondary?
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
You killed Nat, you monster.
What's your reflex at, Cletus?
13.
Okay, that hits. And
This is out.
okay, you watch as your orb hits the elf, and then, you know, like, Cletus is standing there like, what the hell just happened? And, like, he's laying on the ground looking at her getting crumpled by this orb, and then the orb explodes, and the blast just knocks you out.
How'd you get that many actions?
He used his action point.
Which gives one action, and Force Orb has a secondary effect when you.
Yeah, it's a double attack. It hits the first target and then expands to all adjacent targets. You guys gotta remember your action points.
I end my turn.
Okay. It's fucking Sid has the highest kill count right now. Okay, Daylock. He's gonna do something kind of... Oh, let me see if he'll think of this. Oh, okay, he does. He's going to cast Sacred Flame again. But not at Corin.
But at the tree setting it on fire. No.
He sets himself on fire.
Jeez.
Let me roll for severity.
Why is he so useless?
Ooh. Thank God he only rolled 1 damage, but the spell kind of blows up in his face. And he gets blasted in the face. Such a good idea, Daylock. Not a good follow through. Okay, that's
The ultimate battle dead.
and he's
forever.
yeah, he's gonna cast Healing Word. Okay.
Wait, he can do that as many times as he wants.
He can do it more than once, I'll tell you that much. And that's gonna end. Oh wait, did I just minus the damage off of him? Okay, so that shit, yeah, I think I minus the damage. Okay, yeah, that's better. And that's gonna end his turn. Conrad, it's you next.
I will say... Okay, I'm sorry. So I can move to a square adjacent to the person and, and not get an attack of opportunity, right?
Yeah, as long as you're still in his combat range, you will not get an attack of opportunity.
So, like, let's say here.
Yeah, you can move there.
All right, I will do that and do Twin Strike with my swords.
Okay, go ahead and roll that attack. I'll pull up his card, make sure I got his defense down. Okay. The first attack, you swing your sword and, you know, like doing the flourish from switching to the bow and the sword. Like, you go to attack and one of your swords leaves your hand and flies over to here.
Okay.
The other attack lands and hits him, and, you know, he's ugh. Oh, I completely forgot to take off the damage for the last attack. He's looking pretty bloody right now.
Okay, and then I will do... Hang on. Let me pull up my... I will mark him as my quarry.
Okay.
And then I will have my turn.
Okay. Where's my little... Oh, yeah, here it goes. Yeah, I don't like that one because it's a little too dark. Let me just continue with red. Okay. Corin, you're up.
Not looking too hot up there. Oh wait, other way around. You are.
He's kind of pouting a little bit. Just kind of staring at you like, you suck. And let me double check something real quick. Yeah, he's looking bloodied again. He's looking pretty messed up.
Okay, ending my turn.
Okay, Cletus. And Nat is out. Daemissaries. You see him let out a gigantic bellow, and you swear he swells up in size as he swings his hammer around. And deals 17
Yeah, that hits.
plus 5, the 22 damage.
Okay, so hang on. Minus 22. Okay.
Did I set it? Okay, yeah. And hold on a second. I gotta okay, so okay. And he's going to spend his action point to use Hammerfall on you. After he swings around in kind of a arcing pattern, like right in front of you, he drops his hammer, or he lifts his hammer over his shoulder and brings it, down and up like a gigantic metal uppercut. And he hits for 22 damage.
I'm dead.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, I'm -4 now, basically.
Okay. That's going to end his turn. Sin, you're up. You now see no one in sight.
Yep, I'm gonna
Yep, I just
dash.
crashed.
So I can move
And give me 1 second.
50 feet.
Don't do anything yet. Just hold everything.
At least I can say that I wasn't the first one to die.
Yeah, I mean, it was specifically Nat, followed by Cletus, followed by
Conrad.
Conrad.
Died at the same time.
Well, technically, it was a split moment before.
You're like, huh?
Yeah, basically, he saw this orb crush this elf, like what the, and then boom.
My
Okay.
enemy, it must be friendly.
Frickin' Nat. Hit me with 21 damage.
Yeah, that attack of hers it's pretty vicious, and she's never used it yet. She's like, okay, I mean, I guess you don't need to use it if you don't have to, but okay, Sin, you're up.
Okay. I'm gonna make a. Wait, did the bodies like? Are they still there, or are they like non-existent?
Oh no, there's 2 crumpled bodies over there.
Like crumpled how? Like salvageable?
No, they are paste.
What are you gonna do to my body?
I was gonna take your axe or attempt to, or your hammer.
Your hammer?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna dash towards the other roof.
Okay, you make it about halfway up the ladder.
Huh? I only have
Are you going?
5
Wait, are you?
two.
Wait, where are you going? Okay,
He's
right
going,
there.
He's going the other way.
And that will be all.
Okay. Daylock's turn. Not being discouraged by his plan, he's going to make another attempt at it. Okay. You see him cast this radiant spell, and it slams the side of the tree, and the tree does shake a little bit. And it does leave it does leave a pretty good chunk out of the tree. And he's going to move over to here, and that's going to end his turn. Okay, Conrad is out. Corin, you're up.
2. Is he still in my range? Yes. Vicious Mockery once again.
Okay. And what do you say?
I'm up here. You only hit the tree, you idiot.
He looks pretty down about that. He's like, "You're an idiot," as he's running away. Is that going to be your turn?
You. Or actually, yeah, no. I will move up to here.
Okay, wait.
That's 60 feet.
Okay, you can't move that far.
Yep.
No,
60 floor.
you can't. You got
Oh yeah.
30.
Yeah, sorry.
You'll make it over to here, like just the edge of the roof.
Okay, then I'll move up to there and...
Okay. At this point, you can no longer see him.
Okay. And I'll end my turn.
Okay. Demissaries. Seeing everything that's going on. Hearing a commotion from over there, he is going to... He's actually going to pop a potion.
Green potions.
And move over to here. And it's going to be his turn. Okay, Sin, you're up.
Do I hear the screaming going on, perchance?
You do hear the battle up towards the top.
Okay. Am I able to move? I mean, that's 50 feet. Am I able to move there, or is that log thing too big?
Which log thing?
Do you see where I'm pointing?
Yeah. I mean, you can fit in that space.
Okay.
And your movement speed is 5, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna
dash.
Yeah, so you're gonna dash. Okay.
Yes.
Is that gonna end your turn?
Yes.
Okay. At this point, you still don't see anything. Daylock, seeing that his plan sort of worked, is going to feel inspired by that, and he's going to do something kind of crazy.
He jumps off the roof.
Yeah.
Breaks his legs.
Could totally see him doing that.
Takes out a hair dye kit and actually starts dyeing his hair different colors so no one makes fun of it anymore.
Also turns his owl into a cat boss. It's not a bird anymore.
He's going to channel Divinity, run up and strike you with Healing Strike.
Ooh. Fancy pants. And it hits.
Okay. You receive 8 damage, and he can spend a healing surge. I gotta double check his healing surge value. Okay. Yay, he finally hit someone! Let's see if he has any other minor actions. No, I think that's gonna end his turn. Yeah, that's gonna end his turn. Corin, you're up.
Verse of Triumph.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh wait, let me double check what this is. Okay, so you got that +1 power bonus.
So how much is it with the natural 20? How much damage?
It's 2d6, I believe. Let me double check.
Plus charisma, so...
Oh no, 2 weapons. So yours is a 1d6, so it's
12.
yeah, 12 plus your charisma mod.
17, 18.
Okay, and with that, he falls to the ground.
Then I'll move further up.
Okay.
What do I see of the people out there?
From right where you're at, let me see, that's 50. I gotta do some fucking geometry math real quick. Right now you do not see anyone.
Okay.
Okay, is that gonna end your turn?
Stay on the lookout, yeah.
Okay. Okay, he's gonna pop a potion, and that's gonna end his turn. Actually, he's gonna, not seeing anyone over there, he's gonna peek out over in this corner. That's gonna end his turn. Sin, you're up.
Is that an open back tent or anything like that?
Yes it is.
Do I have any line of sight of what was on the other side of the tent?
If you moved up one space, you'd see the crumpled body of Conrad.
Okay. How tall is this tree next to me? The stump?
The stump to your left or right? Oh, that one? It's a good, like, 15, 20 feet up.
Wow! Why did they cut all the way up there?
Not sure. You've never been to this place.
I'm going to do... no, I'm joking. Okay, I'm going to move here. And that's all.
Okay, you don't want to hold an action or anything?
Oh, wait. I'll hold... No, I won't hold anything.
Okay.
That's all.
Corn, you're up next.
Move up to here. And hold action, vicious mockery if I see anybody.
Okay.
Do I get half cover because I'm...
Yeah, you have partial cover.
Okay. That's it.
Huh, I'm gonna roll a dice. He still doesn't see anyone. Yeah, he's gonna... And he's gonna pop one more potion. And it's gonna end his turn. And any potions you guys use in this or any of that stuff, it does not exist.
Okay. So he can...
You have the potions. You have the potions that you have, but if you spend it, it's not going to count against the campaign.
Okay.
Okay, Sin, you're up. I'm not gonna lie, this is not how I expected the battle to go.
Seeing that I don't have any clue what's going on or anything like
Yeah,
that.
you have no clue which way to go.
I'm just gonna run towards this tent.
Okay. Okay, you make it to the tent.
Yep. That's all.
Okay. Corin, you're up.
Seeing as nothing appears to be happening, I'll move up to the edge of the house.
Okay, at this point you do see a gnome that's going towards a tent.
Can I move one back, get partial cover, and still see him?
I would say at the height you're at, even if you move back 1, it really wouldn't be too much cover. You'd have to probably move back 2.
Okay, but could I still see him?
If you move back, he would have the same defensive advantage you have.
Okay.
Because you're basically shooting over cover.
Then I'll just use Vicious Mockery.
Okay. Okay. Does that hit you?
That's a 13.
Yep.
14 because I've got +1.
Oh yeah, it's 14.
No.
Okay. What do you say?
You're like really small.
Sin, you hear someone say that, and you look over, and you see a pixie floating up on the roof, calling you.
Talk.
Okay. Does that end your turn?
Yep.
Okay. Hearing that, he's going to rush back over here and hold an action. Okay, Sin, you're up.
So I still see the pixie?
Yes, you still see the pixie.
Okay. Wait, that's... I can see how many feet away that is.
It's 45.
I'm gonna run into the tent.
Okay. Corn, you see the gnome just run right in the tent. And you can no longer see him. Is that it? Is that it for you?
Like what's inside the tent?
It's just in the tent.
Can I kind of hide against the wall?
Sure, if you want. I mean, it's just an open tent.
Oh, then that is all. Never mind.
Okay.
I can't hit the tent with Vicious Mockery, right?
I mean,
really
no.
make sense.
It's because it's a psychic attack, and you need a brain.
Yeah, makes sense. Just
Yeah.
D&D's weird on this kind of stuff sometimes. I hope for that.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, a lot of the stuff's pretty easy. It's just psychic. If it doesn't have a brain, can't hurt it.
What about this? Whatever. Knowing he's in the tent. Corn will fly up to one of the wagons and sit on top of it.
Okay.
And if he sees anybody, Vicious Mockery once again.
Okay. He's going to continue trying to trek. He's actually going to use combat sprint to rush over to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. He can make it all the way over to there. And I would say with all the obstacles between you and him, I would say that you probably didn't see him. And that's going to end his turn.
Oddly enough, it's the two smallest guys and the biggest guy. No one in the center. Okay, I'm going to sneak through to the other side of the tent. Like right here.
Okay.
And actually, I'm going to dash
Okay.
to there.
Okay.
And that will be my turn.
Okay. Corin, you're up. You have not seen the gnome since he entered the tent.
Move up here, hold action.
Okay.
Do vicious mockery.
Okay. He's going to continue. Can only make it to there, but he's going to continue to try to track down that noise he heard. Or that conversation he heard. And that's going to be it for him. No, the house is significantly higher up than the wagon.
Okay.
I mean, if he got to the edge, then yes. Okay, Sin, your turn.
Is this a cornfield or what am
Yeah,
I in?
it's basically like a crop field. It's high crops, way above your head.
I'm just gonna stealth in here.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth. Okay. As you go to get in, like you do step on a twig.
Alright.
You're not quite sure if no one or anyone heard it or anything, but
that's all for me.
okay, Corin, you're up. It's been a few seconds and you've still yet to see the gnome return.
Okay.
So your best guess is he's somewhere in the tent?
Yeah. I'll just scream, "Come out here and fight like a man!"
Okay.
And one space to here. And end my turn.
Okay. It's gonna run up to here. And not yet for you, but give it 1 second. I'm gonna see if he makes this first. Whew. Okay. And as you move over to the tent, you hear do 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 do. And as you turn around, you see a almost 8-foot tall hunk of human barbarian jump. Let me see. Gotta do the math. So 1. Oh crap! He can make it all the way over here. Wait, let me double check the rule for that.
Wouldn't he crash through the roof of the
It's
wagon?
pretty sturdy.
Damn.
I just imagine he crashes through and the force of that pulling down launches you up like 1,000 feet.
That was the alternative. Either I could make it to where he would crash through, but that would probably launch your ass.
Okay.
Yeah, trust me, I was way ahead of you on that one, Jake. I was like, ugh, I'm like, if he just crashes down, I'm like, okay, just to make it kind of fair. Okay. Okay, so jump action is not on that, so let me just pull this up real quick. Okay, so yeah, he'll be able to almost cancel out everything. Okay, so he'll be able to make it there, and he is as he's in the air, you are able to get off your vicious mockery. But he's also able to get his howling strike. And he's going to channel divine strength on that, so... Oh wait, no. Never mind. Wrong move. So he misses and actually hurts his own toe.
You look like a flying pig. 12 points of damage, yeah.
That's that plus, okay. Okay, let me double check to see if that's all he got. Because I think that is all he got for right now. Yeah, that's all he got. Okay, Sin, your turn.
Did I hear the crash?
Yeah, you heard the crash. And you heard the scream.
I'm going to run over here, dash of course, and that's my turn because I'm a slow gnome.
Okay. Corin, there's a barbarian in front of you. After you turn around in vicious mockery, and you do also notice that the gnome has appeared as well.
Okay.
Man, talk about being in between a rock and a hard place.
I will cast Fast Friends.
Okay, let me pull that up for you real quick.
14 versus Will.
And who are you casting it on?
On Demosaries.
Okay, against what character?
Me, so he doesn't attack
Okay,
me,
yeah.
obviously.
I just wanted to confirm it.
Yep, sure.
Okay, he shakes it off.
Damn. How sturdy does the tent look?
The tent, I mean, it's pretty well put together.
Is he bloody yet?
He doesn't look too messed up.
Okay.
I mean, he has a couple, marks on him. He's a little bit of blood coming out of his ear, but no, he's not looking that messed up.
Then I'll use my action to disengage.
Oh, you mean your move to disengage?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
And then use my action to dash and fly up on the
No.
tent.
No, because you used your action for fast friends.
Yeah.
So you only have a move and a free action left.
Okay.
And
Then
if you disengage, that takes up your entire movement.
Yeah, I won't disengage. I'll move up there. So I'll take
Okay,
an
so yeah.
opportunity attack.
One, two. And he's going to... hold on a second, because I'm going to double check to see if he can use this. He may also... Okay, yeah, so that doesn't work. Yeah, so you do take that 11 damage.
Yeah. And then as a free action, I'm gonna shout, "Don't fight me, I'm just a harmless pixie. Fight the gnome, he's a sorcerer."
Okay, does that end your turn?
Yep.
Okay.
So Corin's bloody now.
Whew. So he has 2 targets. I gotta roll to see which one he's gonna go for. Okay, the one that just hurt him.
Damn. So he can still reach me from down there?
It's only a couple foot tent.
Okay.
I mean, he'd literally be able to get underneath you and slam the hammer up if he really wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Playing lawn darts with Corin up into the air.
Yeah, he's going to go down, and I'm gonna have him roll in athletics just because the card is up a little bit, just to see if he can make it. Oh, of course, yeah, he does. With a great thud, you feel the earth quake as he runs and charges, screaming, running right at you. He's gonna let out a howling strike. For 15 damage plus 5, that's gonna be 20.
Yeah, I'm down.
So he's gonna use his channel divinity.
Corin's down.
Saying you watch as this gigantic human runs over and glowing with this radiant energy as he slams down, screaming on this pixie. You just see him kind of turn into paste.
No, Corin paste.
I mean, you did good. You fucked up. You fucked up Daylock.
Well, that's not really difficult.
Yeah, you're like, yay. Okay, Sin, you're up. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Yeah, he
Back.
gets
Yeah.
the end of turn thing.
No. Hold on a second. Move them off, because now he also gets to charge an enemy. So he's going to charge you and use Howling Strike against you as well. 16 hit you?
Against AC?
Yep.
No. Surprisingly, it doesn't.
Wait, what the... How do you have... Oh, yeah.
robes.
Yeah, your new robes. Oh, thank God for those robes. And let me double check. Yeah, that's it. But he does get fire from that attack. Okay. Your turn.
Okay, I'm going to use Pinioning Vortex on him.
Okay, is that a ranged spell?
It is, so he gets an attack on me.
Yep.
Although, question. Does him attacking happen before or after I do the spell?
It's basically you, it's kind of like at the same time. As you cast the spell, it leaves the opening for him to attack you.
Oh, you also didn't add it to my spell thing.
Did it? Yeah, I did.
You added it to the paper, but I don't have it in my book thingy.
Actually, I added it. Son of a whorebag. Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't do that. Okay, if you want, you can go ahead and it's just 1d20 plus your int versus reflex. So just do a d20 plus 5. Okay, against it's reflex. I do believe that hits. Oops. Yep, that hits. And the damage is 2d6 plus 5. And he's going to go ahead and roll his attack as well. Okay, that attack misses. And you deal 12 damage to him. And it doesn't have a special effect.
Yes, he gets knocked, I slide the target 10 feet vertically.
Okay.
The target remains aloft until the start of his next turn. It is dazed and immobilized. It grants combat advantage to you and your allies.
So he's basically 10 feet up in the air, floating.
Yep. And while he's up in the air, I'm going to move here.
Okay.
And end my turn.
Okay.
Which does nothing anyways.
Yeah, at the start of his turn, he drops down as the spell ends. And he is going to use a Howling Strike at you. So that's going to be 17 damage. You know how to mark off your health?
Yeah.
Okay, didn't update. Oh, there it goes. Okay, and that is going to end his turn.
Okay. Question.
Okay.
For me to pull sand out of my pocket, throw it in his face, and yell "pocket sand," is that a minor action?
To pull it out is a minor action, but to throw it is an action.
Okay, I'm going to pull the sand out of my pocket and yell "pocket sand."
Okay, go ahead and roll d20 minus your dex.
Minus my dex.
What's your dex at?
+1.
Oh, wait, +1. Oh, sorry, wrong score. Actually, I don't know, would it be... No, it'd be strength. Yeah, it's going to be strength.
Sand.
Yeah.
He's right in front of me.
It's a strength. I gotta follow the rules, man.
So much for finesse weapons.
It's not a finesse weapon.
It's sand.
It's sand.
I have to make sure it goes into the right place. That's dexterous.
No, this is a strength roll. There's not a lot of skill involved in this. So roll your d20. Okay, that misses. You throw it at him, and this actually makes even more sense thematically because you're 3 foot. He's 7 foot, so you have to throw that sand up into his face. And it gets like a foot away from his face and just starts drifting down. And he just kind of stares at the sand and stares at you with like his eyebrow raised.
Oh, wait. He also hit me, didn't he?
Huh?
Wait.
Yeah, he hit you.
Damn it.
I would say that would be considered a close blast. So no, he does not get an attack of opportunity.
Well, no, not that. Not that. Something I've never used because I've never had it. My gnome passive.
Oh, you're gonna have to wait until he hits you again.
Okay. Alright. That's my turn.
Okay. Because he hasn't attacked you on this round.
Okay.
And it's passed around. Like I said, I was very forgiving up for the first few sessions, but you guys need to remember your abilities. Just like Conrad, he forgot his.
Yeah, I did.
Let me see, which one is he gonna use?
Use anything, it will hit me in one shot.
You never know, he's been missing a lot on this fight.
Except when he was hitting me.
Yeah, that was a pretty good attack. Yeah. See, that's okay, so can't use that because he's technically in melee range already. He's going to divine challenge you and then use holy strike. Said, "You will face me in the eyes of Cord." And you just feel like you need to attack him. Like that challenge cannot go unanswered. Realistically, wrong ability. Realistically, in a one-on-one fight like this, it doesn't really mean anything because you have no other targets, but it does change his abilities a little bit. Okay, he deals 14 plus whatever his wisdom modifier is, which I think is not a... Oh, never mind. So that's plus 3, so 17. And that's going to end his turn.
I'm going to cast sleep on him.
Okay. Ooh, this could be the crazy... This could... I know, this could be...
After you miss the attack.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, so he gets the attack of opportunity. If this misses, you may take it away. Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, as you go to cast a spell, you leave that opening and he just jams you with the hammer. Your spell does go off technically. So he is technically now slow, but you are...
Whoa, asleep.
Asleep. The target is slowed. Save ends. If the target fails its first saving throw, then it becomes unconscious.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, so he's slowed right now.
How do you have that much health, Cinco? Jesus.
Huh? How do I have that much health?
Oh, you just died. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no. Like he's done. Like I think he went negative 14 on that attack.
Okay.
Okay, and now, is there a saving throw button? No, there's not. Okay, so after he knocks you out, because I want to do this just because it's going to be really hilarious. As soon as he hits you, he then falls asleep. So combat has ended. Wow. I honestly didn't think it was gonna go that way.
Episode title: Sweet dreams are made of these.
Not too bad. Right now I got a mission complete question mark. Yeah, but Jesus, I did not actually foresee that fight going like that.
I should have just stayed in my tree.
Yeah, the tree was working out pretty good for you.
I should have not done focusing and cast sleep earlier.
Yeah. It was a good shot though. Like if you didn't do it, I would say he was gonna be blinded for that next turn.
Also, I simply didn't know that. Thought this was just some kind of what's it called? Cloth on the wagon, so I was kind of surprised when the emissaries just jumped on it.
Again, like if I follow the rule of that, it would basically turn out to be, if he did that, the amount of force this man would apply with his weight and height would have launched you up in the air.
Yeah.
And given the size comparison, like you would have gone past your threshold of movement. And he probably would not have taken too much damage since he did make his athletics check, but you would have been the one mostly hurt by that. And then you would have landed and then received the attack anyways. So, in hindsight, it's probably best that it went that route.
Okay.
I mean, comedic wise, the
Oh
springboard.
yeah, no. That I thought about it. Trust me, as a DM, I'm like, do I let it crash or not? I'm like, no, because I went into this going that like a lot of things were pretty steady. Like that tree that Daylock was attacking, he would have had to do it. I already have the damage table for all the trees, the tents, all the stone pillars, all the wood pillars, all that. I got it on a sheet. So a lot of the stuff in this is very well built and very sturdy. So he would have been hammering at that for a while. That plan never would have worked, but he rolled at it and he rolled low, so he didn't realize that how sturdy the tree looked.
Oh, hey Damon.
Yeah.
Are we still streaming now?
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Okay, so what's next?
Next is simply you guys, are pulled from this after the combat. You guys are aware of everything that happened, and you hear another voice, and it's chuckling and laughing like, ha 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 ha. That was entertaining. I can't wait to see what you do next time. As the voice trails off, and you guys continue your slumber. And that is where we will end our session.
Yay!
Yay.
So anyone who is watching potentially, sorry, we got to cut it early. We do have a down member, so I tried to stretch it as much as we could, and I hope that was enjoyable. We will probably see more battle arenas in the future anytime we have people missing, and I will set up different arenas and stuff like that. And in the future, I may also instill a slight reward for the people who win. This one was kind of last minute, so it's kind of for shits and giggles and bragging rights.
So, is Cletus afraid of a 3-foot gnome now after having a dream that a gnome both crumpled him and Nat at once?
No.
No, honestly, if anything, I would say he has a newfound appreciation and subtle fear against Nat. That lightning blast was...
Hit anything.
Was it?
Why? Because
User in your channel
only
timed
hit
out.
anything with her claws.
I mean, she missed it again, but that lightning, that was a big one.
Yeah, but Nat got crumpled and...
User entered your channel.
Just messing.
Welcome back to UI.
Yeah, sorry.